Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge, it's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
And I'm Mike, and we are at West Fork Whiskey today in Westfield, Indiana. I almost said Kentucky. Westfield, Indiana.
Hell yeah.
And we have Blake with us today. Blake, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
So Blake Jones here, co-founder, co-CEO. Look, we're here to make great corn-forward bourbon right here in Central Indiana.
I just realized that I look like a dipshit because I'm not wearing sunglasses.
You still look good.
You really do look good.
I think you look good. Don't listen to these guys.
One of these things is
Thank
not
you.
like the other, right?
Yeah,
Plus,
exactly.
you've got the
Exactly.
second best hat on.
I do,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Get
true.
your West
Your
Fork.
hat's great, too. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about this guy.
No, I love my
Yours is
hat.
pretty good. Yeah, the Scally's good, man.
Hey,
we need
hey.
a West Fork Scally is what we need.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
get you a
missing
hat
my
pin.
pins. Oh, man.
I'll get you a hat pin for your hat.
I would
Yeah,
love
You
that.
can wear me around everywhere.
I would love that.
So we are at West Fork Whiskey today. Blake was kind enough to host us today. We did a private tour, had some lunch, learned a little bit about West Fork, and now we're going to pass it on to you. So, Rob, tell us a little bit about what we're smoking today. We're sitting outside, so we're going to smoke Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, we're going to be actually smoking the new street taco from Rojas, the Cinco de Mayo from 2024. Nice medium plus cigar, but I figured it'd be a really good one to pair with some really good whiskey. So we're excited to do both these, and then we're going to be starting off with some fantastic whiskey.
Tacos and bourbon, huh?
Tacos and bourbon.
That's
baby.
right.
It's always been one of my favorite cigars, the barbacoa.
The barbacoa,
from last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
It's just phenomenal.
Well, I'll be interested to see
Is
what you
that
guys
actually
think
what
of
it's
this
called?
one.
I know nothing about cigars.
Yeah, there's so
Street
they have a
taco.
street
just
taco
nod
line.
your head and say yeah. That was good.
Yeah,
Smile and nod.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
They've got one called the barbacoa, one called the carnitas. Now this is the Cinco de Mayo.
That's really fun.
So yeah.
Branding A+.
All right,
yeah,
well,
oh, yeah.
I lost my humidor somewhere, so I need a cutter and a lighter because I'm an idiot.
Here's Cutter. Oh, you got
All
it?
right. Will's going to share with me. It's a little bit windy out here, but you'd never know because I know what I'm doing. Till your cigar goes out. Just
Yeah,
hold
I'm
it
gonna
low.
need the other lighter in a minute.
So this got like a partially closed foot on it, just like the others, right, Rob?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we talk about that all the time. Is like with a partially closed foot, just put it in your mouth and light it, because you're gonna get all that flavor right off the wrapper. Some people don't like it because they'll be sitting back and relaxing, and little flakes will come off on their shirt. But you get a lot of flavor by doing
Just
that.
put it in your mouth and light it, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
chew on it.
Yeah. We're all about mouthfeel, so if it feels good in my mouth, I'm lighting it.
Any
Little too
double
much,
entendres you want to throw in there is fine.
All right, give me
I'm
your,
still feeling
give
it
me your
out
lighter
to
there.
figure out
No.
where the line is.
There's
and
no
I have
line.
a feeling it's going to change
There's
throughout,
no line.
throughout this. All right, I love it.
So we'll start talking in cursive here in a little bit, and you'll understand what that is.
I only write in cursive, so perfect.
Cool. Yeah, my wife usually skips cursive. She just goes straight to italicized, so it's like in between.
Lisa usually just gives me crap about speaking in cursive, so it's fine.
I text
right.
in cursive
Do you?
quite
Yeah.
often. Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Will's very good at texting in cursive, actually.
Yes. Actually, he really is. Yeah.
I
We
guess.
still haven't done that segment. We need to go
We
back
will.
to doing that.
We will.
We're going to do
Again.
that.
So,
Anyways,
let's
what
get
are we
in,
pouring?
let's get into the first pour here. So what do you want to start us with?
Well, so maybe a little background before we
Please
get
do.
started
Yeah.
here. It is what, 1:30 in the afternoon, whatever time it is.
Oh, that's late for us.
Y'all have already been here maybe almost 2 hours at this point. And fair and full disclosure for those listening and watching, we've already drank some bourbon today.
A little bit.
And
We did.
quite a variety of bourbon. But for the podcast and for hanging out here, we're just going to start with the nice classic Old Hamer Cask Strength.
Oh, yeah.
So over 4-year-old, 99% corn bourbon. Love this one, not only because of the depth, but the sweetness and cherry notes that I typically get from it. So excited to share with you guys.
Yeah, that's great,
Awesome,
man.
man.
Yeah. So, and as we get into this, we want you to tell your story, tell where you came
course.
from, what you're doing, how the Old Hammer, Hugh Hammer line, everything's kind of happened, and because we want to hear your whole story, bud.
Yeah, it's just it's better when I have a glass of bourbon in my hand.
Everything's better with a glass of bourbon and a cigar, buddy.
And so the whole reason for Old Hamer and eventually Hugh Hamer was as we grew over the last 8 or 9 years, West Fork's been around on paper since 2014. We started distilling on the nights and weekends in 2015 on the northwest side of Indianapolis, Park 100, if you know where Squealers is. So literally we had a warehouse at 8557 Zionsville Road. So right behind Squealers. We were doing it on nights and weekends, trying to figure out if we could even make decent distillate while we had our day jobs. And some of us were going to school at night. But as we grew, bourbon companies, when it takes 4+ years to figure out if you have got a good product or not, we figured out that we need to diversify, right, as we continue to grow. And one of the ways we did that was we resurrected a brand. So the Old Hamer brand was originally made in the 1800s in southern Indiana, Spring Mill State Park. It was Spring Mill Village back in the day. Story goes when the Hamer family migrated from New York to southern Indiana, instead of taking cash or banknotes at the time because the currency system wasn't quite the same, they took excess corn primarily for the payment of all the milling to all the local farmers. So what else do you do with excess corn in the early 1800s?
Distill it.
You make whiskey out of it, right?
Yep.
Whiskey.
I imagine it wasn't actually bourbon. Let's be very clear about that. It could have been. It could have not been. I imagine they used a wide variety of barrels, but they were selling barrels of bourbon down the Mississippi in port towns as far south as New Orleans. We knew it had to be primarily corn based on what was grown in the area in our research. And because they didn't have the enzymes we have today, we knew there had to be some barley. So this 99% corn mash bill, as we resurrected this brand, we thought was a nice modern complement to maybe what they would have done back in the day. And being an Indiana distillery, we want corn.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Very corn forward. So
Yeah.
this one's at cask strength. Didn't see the bottle, but somewhere usually around 120 proof. Just over 4 years old is usually the batched.
So is it Hammer
Very
or
nice.
Hamer?
Hamer, 1M.
Hamer.
Hamer. Yeah, Rob, you idiot.
I didn't say Old Hammer, did I?
You did say Hammer.
I don't correct anybody
I've
anymore.
heard it.
I
I've heard
should.
people say that. It really is annoying.
I don't correct
Sorry
people
if I
anymore.
did.
I don't care
I-
what people call it as long as they're buying it and talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is clocking in at 118.2.
Okay. It's usually right around 120. Some of the barrels a little under. We've had some float a little bit above 130 with some of our single barrel picks, but usually right around 120. And 4+ years old, 99% corn, roughly 120 proof. I'm unsure if there's a better cask strength everyday sipper out there. That's why I really love this mash bill, because you can actually have a couple glasses of it instead of it kick you in the teeth so much.
Yeah.
We can't have that second pour.
Yeah. So what's your favorite Hamer then? Because there's quite a list that is from that line, right? I mean, there's
Tons. So we
8,
got
9.
the core portfolio is an 80 proof small batch, 100 proof single barrel, and the cask strength. And out of those three, the cask strength, I like high proof. We talked about that before
Oh,
we got
yeah.
online, right?
Yeah.
Anything under 100, I get bored with.
Yep.
But then on the Hugh Hamer line, which is the older, more sophisticated sibling to the Old Hamer line, we got a double oak and rum finished as our core. And the rum, certainly of that. Other than that, I just said, I love cask strength, so that's what typically I'm pouring. And I love sweet bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's like really well balanced. Kind of get all these classic bourbon notes.
You do. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Caramel, vanilla, a little bit of
Yeah,
oak, a little bit of
exactly.
fruit.
yep. And not over oaked in any way, just the right amount. The
And I'd be interested to hear you guys' opinion about age eventually on this. 'Cause I have some interesting opinions that may not jive with the rest of the bourbon community on age of bourbon.
Well,
We do too.
Yeah,
We
we've talked
do.
about it a couple times, and you can't just be an age hound. You can't just hunt for age, because it doesn't mean that it's a good thing. We talked about it earlier. Like, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's a good bourbon.
And just
Or
because
a
it's
good
old doesn't
whiskey.
mean it's good.
Just because it's old doesn't mean it's good.
We,
We've had some really good 2-year product
Yeah.
recently that was like a really good product.
You can make really good bourbon between 2 and 4 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And Rob, what's our favorite thing to say that we've always said, at least this year?
What the best bourbon's the bourbon you like?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's
that.
no rhyme or reason to it, man.
Love that.
If you like a 2-year-old bourbon that's super grain forward, and that's your jam, good for you, man.
Love that.
I
you
think
want something flavored, we don't care.
If-
Enjoy
and-
what you're drinking.
yeah, and if the distillate that's going into the barrel starting out as shit,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long you keep it in the barrel. It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So if
Probably
you
not.
start with a good distillate, first and foremost, then you hope the barrel's going to take it somewhere special that
Yeah, you
it
just
wouldn't
can't
have
really
gone on
fix
its
it.
own. But
We didn't try any
Yeah.
white dog
We
today.
did.
I
I was
could
just saying that we need to try your white dog before we leave.
Well, I could probably have someone bring us some.
You should.
Shane's really good
Get your
at that.
phone out.
Yeah.
Shane!
Shane.
You heard me yell earlier, right?
Yeah.
Shane.
Shane.
Shane's our warehouse manager. He's the bomb.
He's
That's
awesome,
one
dude.
thing we've noticed. We've tried a lot of the white dog going to different distilleries, and we say it all the time. Is like if you start with a good white spirit, it's probably going to do something special in the barrel. You start with something bad, the barrel's not going to fix it. And that's
Usually
why not usually. I mean, it can do some things. Unless you throw it in Amberana, then it just screws everything up.
I'm just unsure how much I want to push the envelope today. Give me a
Push
couple
it
more
all.
glasses of
Push it
bourbon.
all.
We'll get there.
This will be fun. Okay. I will. Let me say this. We don't like throwing people under the bus,
Absolutely not.
but we'll talk.
Absolutely.
Shit
We like
about,
driving
we'll talk
the
shit
bus
about
there.
stuff. So
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we like driving the bus, though.
Yeah,
we
I
won't,
like
we
driving
won't
the
push them in front of it. We'll let them do it
Amberana
themselves.
for me is I just don't love cinnamon bombs, right? With my bourbon, I don't mind some of that as a compliment, but not as an overpowering flavor. And so, for my personal palate, I just don't tend to gravitate towards it.
no,
we're all in the same boat here pretty much.
yeah,
No, yeah, 100%.
My boat is like I'm capsizing that damn thing. 'Cause I hate Amberana. So
Rob's hitting icebergs over here.
Oh,
We get
God.
asked all the time if we're going to do one.
I hope you keep saying no. Hell
The
no.
answer so far has been no.
Good for you.
It's a good answer. That's a very good answer.
Unless one of my co-founders comes to me and says, "Hey, Blake, we're doing an Amberana," we're not doing it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So what do you think of this cigar with this, Rob? I think
I really like it.
it
Actually,
started out very nice. On
it's
that first
balancing nicely. I mean, this one is going to be in that medium plus range. I need to go back and look at the ticket on this. I'm pretty sure it's a Habano wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's pairing nice. The baking spice notes are popping on the cigar, but it's balancing the sweetness of the bourbon out really nicely.
Yeah, I was trying to
feel like
pick out
it's a
that
good
sweet note out of
combination.
this. It's
Yeah.
driving me nuts.
What are you getting some earthiness on the cigar though? Like I'm kind of pulling
Yes.
some earthiness.
Yeah.
on it.
I think the sweetness of the whiskey's dropping down, making it a little bit earthy on the cigar for sure. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
On the cigar?
Well, I mean, just the pairing
it's
together.
good.
So yeah.
Again, I told you before we got on, I only do a handful of cigars
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year. So for me, you'll see me chew it up on the end as we go through here, just my style.
Mhm.
But this is about as bold a cigar as I usually like. I like a
Okay.
little lighter and.
I should have thought about that and brought a couple of milder ones.
But
too,
I will
just in
say
case.
for the sweet corn forward bourbon, that's actually probably a nice balance for most folks.
I think so
it
too.
is, and I think that's the sweet part that you were talking about that kind of
Yeah.
balances with that.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
I
trying
would
to-
say with this one here, this cigar, I don't know if it'll go as well with a rye. Because I think the rye spice is going to knock
too
the
much,
earth
right?
off of it a little bit. But the sweetness of some of the stuff we've tried today is going to go well with this cigar. So,
Some of these crazy finishes.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so
Yeah, we got-
Rojas, if I mentioned it the other day on last week's podcast, check out the Instagram page. You can check out the Final Third podcast or Final Third Cigar. Top of the page on Instagram, there's highlights now. You can see eventually all of the cigar brands and all of the faces of the cigars in the humidor will be on there. This one's already on there, so you can see the tag. You can see everything, all the information about the new Cinco de
The
Mayo.
wrap is badass.
yeah, say Blake mentioned that too. I mean, the band on this thing is actually
Very
really
cool.
pretty. And that's one thing. I mean, you're a brand guy. You get it. You have to make it pop on the shelf. This pops on the shelf.
Yeah, if no one knows about your product, right, before when
Yeah.
they're shopping the shelf, you've got to do something. And we're in the process of improving all of our packaging, so it's interesting you
Yeah.
brought that up.
Yep.
While you're talking about packaging, mention the labels.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
for the single barrel program.
Yeah, for the single barrel program, for those of you that don't know, we love doing single barrels. Single barrels are for me the most fun that we do because we can actually build a relationship with our ultimate customer.
Yeah.
And get to know our customer a little bit better and what's important to them and what they like and what they don't like. But to my knowledge, we're the only people in the country that allow semi-custom labeling for your single barrel pick and a half barrel or a full barrel. So what that means is we allow up to, 3 to 5 different colors, watermarks, your brand story on the back, et cetera, that we integrate into the label itself. And I should have maybe brought one and put it on the table so you could kind of see. You guys saw an example
Yeah.
in our mezzanine space, but man, we've done some really cool things. We put stuff in the farms, pigs in the farm scene. We've done, fighter jets. We've done American flags. We've done dancing bears. I mean, you name it. We've probably explored doing it. And it's just a little bit better, right? Again, it lets us connect with our customers more than that gold sticker. Not that there's anything wrong with that little gold sticker, right? That's great. But it gives a little value add and, again, helps that relationship a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We talk about the single barrel program. Like, do you have a cap on how many single barrels picks you'll do in a year? Or do you kind of have what's your average year look like with that?
We aren't like a massive distillery, right? We're growing all the time. And of course there's a cap, right? There's a cap on how much bourbon I have, but I will tell you that I would rather short ship some of my core portfolio, which would piss off my distributor if they're listening, and sell an extra single barrel to a customer to get to know them. And we got a lot of room to sell some single barrels.
Good.
So I would say
awesome.
we probably sell, or actually I know for a fact we sell towards the top of anybody in Indiana, Big Six included, when it comes to Indiana single barrels. But we're always loving selling more.
Awesome, man.
I hate putting numbers to stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's cool.
It's all good.
I'll be very vague.
That's all good. Will you toss me a water real quick
Yeah.
before we move on to the next one?
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of bourbon to drink, and I drink fast.
There's
Yeah, I
plenty over
actually
here.
poured pretty heavy on that one. That's going to be a good start for me.
Especially after a few barrels before we even get started.
Yeah.
That pours for you, Scotty D, since you're on a plane.
Yeah,
right
I got yours too, Scott. Scott's our fourth on the podcast. He's traveling for work, so he couldn't be here today.
Hopefully somewhere really cool.
Well,
Where
to
was he
Arkansas,
going?
right?
Austin.
Austin.
So
okay.
very
But-
cool.
Yeah,
Kinda? I
very
don't know.
cool, except for it's all work. He didn't get any time for the distilleries and the food scene. So
We're the co-founders and I are going to Austin in a month or two to go see Garrison Brothers, Still
Oh, hell
Austin, in Treaty Oak.
you gotta stop.
Nice.
What do you think of the guys at Crowded Barrel? I know they're brand new kind of thing, but they seem like really cool guys.
That's the first
Actually,
I've heard of the brand.
So Whiskey
Really?
Tribe.
Oh,
You
okay.
seen that's the
Yeah,
guys
never-
that started it from there. Yeah,
I haven't tried any
it's
of
a
it.
cool
so.
spot. It's right there in Austin.
In
but-
Austin?
Yeah. But yeah, I went to Still Austin and tried Garrison Brothers stuff there at the Bastards Ball. They have a Bastards Ball there at the Crowded Barrel Distillery, and Still Austin. Love trying Fraley stuff that she picks out of there. And,
Okay.
but yeah, Garrison Brothers. That's where I fell in love with their brand. It might be my favorite Texas whiskey right now. I really love
Big
some of
bold
their stuff.
bourbons, right? Isn't that what they're about?
Dark, rich, oily,
And you can get it after, 2 to 3 years?
exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's insane.
We don't have that climate.
No, we don't have the.
We do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you got to think a little more than
Yeah.
some of the things that they're
Throw
putting
it in as thick as staves as possible in 15 to 30 gallon barrel, let it age 2-3 years,
Yeah.
and
And you got gold.
there you go.
Yep. What's that? Oh,
Will's dropping the cigars. So usually it's Rob.
It's already
Yeah, it
first
usually
bourbon
is
in.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By first, you mean fifth?
Yeah. Or seven.
Dad.
Yeah,
First
or
one
seven.
outside.
I honestly forget how much we
First
had.
one outside.
First one on tape.
Isn't that's difficult, isn't it? Because I mean, it's like I am in the shop. We got bourbon, a lot of bourbon on the bar. I'm having bourbon. I'm drinking cigar. I'm like, wow, I've had 12 ounces
Yeah,
of
how
whiskey
many
today
have
and
I had
14
today?
cigars.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. I've had a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a
It's
horrible
noon.
day. Yeah, what a horrible day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just another day at the office.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
it's amazing.
So tell us a little bit about your history. Where you started, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So our history is, my childhood best friend and I, we grew up together, and my brother, we all grew up in Bedford, Indiana, so the limestone capital of the world, a little bit south of Bloomington. And we got to be really, really good friends because our families were really good friends, and we went on vacation together a lot, and we always joked about starting a business. And one of the ideas we had was always went on cruises together, was a cruise line, and we would do a deal with Marriott. Right.
Okay.
And that would be our entrepreneurship journey. You may not know this, but cruise ships are really expensive to build.
Yeah.
So probably not reachable.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so when we got in college and before we got into serious relationships, then it was a bar, a live up top, right? Live the
Mhm.
bachelor life. And we realized that was not really sustainable either, right? I got in a serious relationship. But then we kind of went our separate ways after college. We started getting into bourbon. My childhood best friend, David, is one of my co-founders. He went to law school, working as a consultant in Florida. I graduated, got married, started working in the finance industry here in Indianapolis. And then my brother was in medical school. Got his master's in biology, undergrad in biochemistry, and was 2.5, 3 years deep into medical school. And we started doing some planning. What do we want to do? We don't want to work for the man forever, right? Want some flexibility. We need something we're really passionate about. And again, we were really getting serious about bourbon. And originally it was Scotch and Irish whiskey. My dad was kind of an amateur collector, bought everything under the sun. This is when you could go and get George C. Stagg off the shelf, right? You get Saz 18.
I miss those days.
Off the shelf, right? And so that's the kind of stuff we were drinking all the time, right? He would, Elijah Craig, when it was like $30-$40, 18 off the shelf, right?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff we were just drinking and enjoying and being around each other, when I'm 22, 23, 24. And so that was kind of my entrance from Scotch Irish to bourbon. And eventually we kind of looked around and was like, why not a bourbon company, right? Why not a whiskey company? And thank God we were a little naive because that cash flow cycle is not very fun. But, we kind of looked around. We did some due diligence planning. This would have been, again, 2014, 2015. I was in banking, in MBA school, again, doing some due diligence on the project. And, hey, can we make money at this? What are the economics like? We know we have a great supply chain here in Indiana. I mean, I asked you guys this earlier. When you think of Indiana, what do you think about?
Corn.
Racing or basketball, right?
Yep.
So why not start a company that really adopts one of those identities? And so we got great corn here. We've got great hard limestone water. We're in a great limestone aquifer right underneath us.
But that's only in Kentucky, though.
Never hear that, do you?
Never. I've never heard that. And I've never heard that only bourbon comes from Kentucky.
Exactly.
Never.
Yeah.
But we have a great hard limestone water aquifer beneath us, about 108 feet down. And so that's where all of our water comes from. And then again, temperature fluctuations, if those are good for bourbon, which they are. They are.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. Indiana should make some of the best bourbon in the world. And we know it does that at MGP. Obviously, they've become more well-known over the last 4 or 5, 6 years. But when we were first getting into it in 2014, 2015, that was a dirty word. And we didn't source for a while. We cashed our 401ks. We maxed out some credit cards. We guaranteed some loans. I'm not kidding when I say I was in school 2 or 3 nights a week, married. We were spending multiple nights a week and probably out of 48 hours on a weekend, 30 hours at the distillery. It was so bad and so janky. We didn't have any money that someone would have to go in at 2 or 3 a.m. to start the mash tun, to fill it up and to heat it up before we'd actually be able to come in and mash. We'd rotate through every day and every weekend. We had a little shitty couch and we'd go there, and my wife literally has pictures of us sitting on the couch sleeping at 2 or 3 a.m., like just getting started.
Yeah.
And that's how West Fork got started. It was, can we do this? Because legally you can't do it at home. And we never wanted to put our company in jeopardy. So we're in that 8557 Zionsville Road behind Squealers. And how do we want to mash? What do we like about different styles of bourbon? We know we wanted to be corn forward because that was our identity as being an Indiana bourbon and whiskey company. And besides that, what do we want to process to be? And that's what we did, literally a 50-gallon still, plastic fermenters. We used a steel drum for a mash tun. I think we still have it, actually, back there. I should have pointed it out to you guys. And that was the start of our company.
That's cool.
So while you're talking origin, how did the name West Fork come about? Where did that come from?
It's our third name.
Okay.
It was the only name that anybody knew us publicly. First one was White River Whiskey Company. We realized very, very early on that was going to probably have a negative connotation to a lot of folks because of the White River and all the pollution. So that was probably not a very good name. And then it was 19 Whiskey Company for the 19th state led in the Union, Indiana. Because we knew we wanted to be Indiana focused, but not slap your face Indiana, because we wanted to grow outside of Indiana.
Yeah.
Eventually, and then West Fork Whiskey came about because of the West Fork of the White River.
Right.
And that's the whole reason why Central Indiana kind of was founded where it was and grew where it was, because of the West Fork of the White River. So it's a West Fork Whiskey Company.
Nice.
That's
I like
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great.
While we're talking, let's get into the second pour.
Yeah, I'm drinking at you guys' pace at this point, right? Because I drink that first sample really fast.
Yeah. we're ready to go to the next one. So what do you want to jump on next?
Yeah, so I think with some cask strengths, and who knows if we get into a couple more, we're going to do let's see what I pulled first. Perfect. The only light toast double oak that I have. So you can see all down to my right, for those folks that'll eventually watch this, I've got 4 little plastic samples. We all pulled these together. I think we sampled most of them together. So this one we did. So we're going to try the toasted oak. It's a light toast double oak, about 5-6 years old.
All right.
And this is part of our Hugh Hamer line. So our Hamer line, again, it capitalizes on that 99% corn mash bill, bourbon mash bill. Its initial age was in a number 4 char. Secondary age, again, about a year or so in that toasted oak barrel. We're trying to decide how well it integrates that toasted oak into the initial number 4 char right now. So you guys are going to taste some really experimental stuff while we're hanging out today.
That's
Yeah,
awesome, man. Yeah.
So these, for those of you listening to, these are ones that are not released yet. They're working on getting these released at some point when they get to where they feel like they're ready to go.
That's
So
right. That's
this
right.
this one to me, just off the nose, is like just a caramel bomb. I mean, the nose is so sweet.
I mean, it's almost all caramel.
Oh, it's all caramel. I mean, it's what I love in bourbon. You know, I love the caramel notes. I love the kind of bready notes. This is actually really, really nice on the nose.
And cask strength, so this one's probably floating between 120, 125. It'd surprise me if it was a little bit more.
What was the age on this one? 4 to 5 too?
No, this one's going to be total age between 5 and 6.
Okay.
A lot of the Hugh Hamer stuff is 5, 6, 7, depending on how long it's been finished for.
Okay.
So Hugh Hamer line extension of the Old Hamer brand, and it's been double oaked. So we say it's the more sophisticated older sibling to Old Hamer. And because of the price points, it starts pushing, $60, $70, $80. Actually, I don't think it's ever pushed 80, but 60 and 70. We had to brand it slightly different than the Old Hamer. Old Hamer is 80 proof has been as affordable as $19.99.
Right.
And the everyday 80 proof 24 to $29.99. And usually that same brand doesn't jive when you start to get to ultra premium.
I might have missed what you said. So this is Hugh Hamer?
This is Hugh Hamer. Anything that's been double barreled is Hugh Hamer.
Okay, gotcha.
Anything that's been single barreled other than 99% corn is Old Hamer.
Okay. But some of the other ones we pulled, that you got down here, we're going to be going to next, are going to be your actual West Fork.
Yeah, we've got some West Fork distillate
Gotcha.
we're going to try today.
So if we didn't already say, Old Hamer and Hugh Hamer are sourced whiskeys.
That's
that
correct.
You're doing all your crazy shit here on.
Yep.
All the West Fork stuff is going to be your own distillate.
That's correct. Yeah.
So just for you guys out there.
We own multiple brands, the West Fork whiskey brands, which are grain to glass brand, and then the Old Hamer brand, which is that brand we resurrected. And we contract MGP to make the distillate for us. We do all the aging and blending and bottling ourselves.
Yeah.
But they make the distillate.
Well, we're definitely with you on that, because it used to be, when people said, "Oh, we source from MGP," everyone's like, "Oh," it's like. But now people are starting to realize, wait a minute, what? They make some pretty freaking amazing whiskey.
They were probably already drinking MGP too.
They definitely were.
Yeah, it just wasn't known. And I don't know why.
People weren't reading labels as much back then. Now you have every whiskey guy's reading the label. Where's it? Oh, that's Lawrenceburg.
And people got sued over it, right?
Yes,
By not being honest
not
about it.
disclosing it.
And legally, you're supposed to.
It's still funny how some of the bottles are really, really little
Plain.
obscure,
Convoluted.
skewed,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Produced, not distilled.
We pick up when you go down the shelf. I could probably point to multiple illegal labels immediately, right? Because they'll already send them to print before the government approves them, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to take those out." Right? I've already spent money on those. Big brands, small brands.
Yep.
They've all done it. But yeah, it's always supposed to stay legally the state that it's distilled in. Doesn't have to be the city or distillery per se.
Right.
But definitely the state.
Yeah, we talked on last week's podcast. We talked a little bit about BBC starting to do the same thing. They're opening a place in Elizabethtown, Kentucky called Whiskey House. Huge place, like
Huge.
176 acres.
Huge.
And they're doing the same business model as MGP. They're just going to pump out a bunch of juice and sell it to smaller new brands.
They're not the only one. So I tried calling when we were trying to scale up, and we were getting cut out of MGP initially for multi-year contracts. We tried calling Bardstown Bourbon Company and why am I spacing on the one that Campari bought?
Wilderness Trail.
Wilderness Trail.
Yeah.
These guys were like, it'll be 5 years before you get a contract. And Bardstown told me almost 10. I was like, oh, shit. We need a lot more bourbon a lot faster than 10 years
way
from now.
quicker.
Quickly, yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me. That's actually one of 2 or 3 coming online that is very significant. And I would argue it's going to have a glut and oversupply issues because I don't think Asia and Europe are eating up a lot of the excess demand that people thought they were going to. So it's going to be very interesting next 3 to 5 years in bourbon, in my opinion, with a lot of these guys coming online. They're going to produce great bourbon at great prices.
Yeah, I think they had mentioned trying to start production July 2024. So this July.
They're in production.
Oh, are they already?
Are they really?
Oh man,
Wow.
I didn't
They're in
realize that
production.
they were even.
People are
that
meeting with them
close.
already, and their customization.
Pre-selling. Yeah.
Their customization is next to. I mean, nobody can compete.
Nobody can touch it. I mean, you can.
Nobody.
Any mash bill you want to possibly imagine, you can do
Man,
it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, no, they're good.
That's the goal, right?
And I'm assuming, maybe you probably be able to tell me if this is true or not, but in the cigar world, you have these people making tons and tons of cigars, and if they don't sell, they just ship them to China and they sell them for crazy amounts of money. Is that what's happening in the
You
whiskey
guys
world
obviously know you've been around this business a long time, and you're small business owners yourself. You got to make money.
Got to make money.
Right? And you've
Yep.
got product that doesn't have an outlet here in the States or for the brand. Maybe you intended it. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to innovate. You're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to be a business owner, and you're going to find a way to make money out of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, when some of the brands that we all know and love now, people weren't buying them in America originally. They were going to Asia or Europe. Right. And now they're so sought after here in America, and we weren't buying them. We weren't drinking them. And that's what's going to happen in bourbon. It's going to have to, because there's way too much being made.
I was gonna say Buffalo Trace.
You know,
With
Blanton
all this
straight
shit
from the
Blanton's for
barrel,
sure.
right?
I mean,
yeah,
Four
straight on the
Roses.
barrel,
I mean,
gold,
yeah. I mean, a lot
black.
of the big boys have done it.
Yeah. And you don't blame them. I mean,
Yeah, they kept the bourbon. I mean, Japan helped keep the bourbon market alive.
That's right.
It didn't collapse. It
70s
would've
and 80s,
collapsed
it was
without
almost
them.
bankrupt, right?
yeah.
We're real good at collapsing shit.
It's an expensive hobby
Yeah.
It really
that
is.
you hope to
yeah.
make money on.
But most of those things now, like you said, like now there's a demand for that here. So like Total Wine's releasing straight from the barrel and Blanton's Gold now, which I never thought I would see here.
Really? Okay. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Yeah, in the latest Total Wine lottery, they had the Blanton's Gold. I mean, I tried it once. Eric Jansen gave us a sample. Shout out Eric Jansen.
Yeah.
Gave us a sample of that and gave us he actually got us a bottle of Blanton's, the Takara Black, and that one's actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, those are things that like 2 years ago you didn't see in the States ever.
No chance.
So
Well,
yeah.
Grab another bottle. Hey, so
Ready to go more?
Yes. Go
Oh,
more.
wow. I love your guys' space.
So,
I'm not going.
so
fast
one thing
enough.
I'm gonna go back to. 'cause
Now we're going to
you were
Westford, just
talking
look.
about doing your. You wanted to do a cruise ship. You're gonna have a pond across the street. Are you gonna put something out there where you can like float and have people out there for drinking whiskey?
That's actually going to be one of the 3 of our ponds. So we just announced a deal with MI Homes to create. Love it. As far as our knowledge goes, the first and only living walking entertainment district surrounding one brand. So townhomes, outdoor amenities like dog parks, concert venues, an aging warehouse, other commercial. Working on that, maybe some beer halls, some game halls, things
A
like
dog
that.
treat store.
cigar lounge.
Yeah, well, maybe. You want
We need one out
you want to
here.
expand?
Yes. Yes.
There'll be opportunities. All right, we're gonna have an offline conversation. Scratch
sounds
that.
like
That's private.
Rob needs
it's
a GM
confidential.
for that one.
Yeah. I need someone to run it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Can't
We
be
got
everywhere
that.
at once.
Nope.
But there'll be a pond right here by us. There'll be a pond on the other sides. There'll be 3 ponds, and we got to figure out a way to activate those. Liability, our insurance company wouldn't love it, but there's got to be some cool things, at least from a fundraising aspect, in terms of raising money for good causes.
Well, and you've already got you've got Grand Park just a golf shot from here.
Right across the street.
So I mean, you've got millions of people coming through here
Yep.
yearly. It's not going to be hard to fill the seats anywhere you do anything you do over here now. So that's actually really good. I know it's still as big as it is already. It's still in the infant stage of what they're going to create in this area. I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, Westfield's the 7th fastest growing city above 50,000 people. It's one of the reasons why we built this here. We bought the land quietly before COVID.
Good for you.
The initial developer, we have 25.5 acres. The initial developer right after COVID backed out. My business partner and I said, holy shit, how are we going to afford this land?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We got to find someone to help us build this project. We need production. We need a tourism home. We need to grow. And then, everyone knows this. Things got a lot more expensive during COVID.
Yep.
And so when we find our new developer, Holiday Properties and Development, they've been incredible to us over time. They came to the table, they helped us, but we were bidding out some of the subcontract bids, and people would be like, this bid is good for 4 hours. Like, I can't talk to my investors and my bank in a 4 hour period, or else the costs go up 30-40%.
Yeah.
And it took a project that, with the land and the building and everything in it, should have cost us about $7 million. And when it's all said and done, not including the MI phase and the next phase, it'll cost us 12. So that one
That's
hurt.
rough. That's
Well, I'm
rough.
going to say that's why we didn't build with MI Homes. We ended up building with DR Horton.
Well,
fuck
there are
you.
single-family home
Well-
developer. They just came to they're different. That's different.
So the only reason why we didn't build with them was because of the way that they had written their contracts, and it was the inflation with the market.
Are you talking
so,
about
like,
your own personal?
Our own
residence?
personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we ended up going with DR Horton because that's all that was available at the time.
Did you build during COVID?
It was right at the end of COVID. Yeah, there was like 7 houses for
Oh,
sale.
wow.
But we like the MI Homes models. Like everything that they were doing was great. You know, all their commercial properties are amazing. They're beautiful places.
So they're building the residential. They're not our commercial partners on this next
Oh, okay,
phase.
okay.
So they're doing townhomes for us
Oh, cool.
that
Yeah.
look like this building.
So we wanted to do them. We
Okay.
wanted to use MI because like their floor plans that they had on their like ranch home, we really liked that one.
Okay.
The only like deal breaker for us was that just because we agreed to purchase at that purchase price, well, it's going to take them 9 months to build it. So then 9 months later, it was going to go up 50 grand. I was like, I can barely afford what you're charging me now. It's like,
Sounds
I
like
can't afford-
everything out of COVID.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
everybody else was like upcharging and upcharging and upcharging. So,
Yep.
but I love their floor plans. Like we looked at some of their townhomes because my wife got a condo here before we purchased the house, and we looked at some of those. And I mean, everything that they're doing is
We're
good
super
quality.
excited. They apparently they claim their retail price for the townhomes they're bringing to the West Fork district are going to be about $360 grand, which not super affordable, but certainly not crazy expensive, right?
Yeah,
like
like
a
single
good middle
family.
ground for
Not for now.
3 or 4 bedroom, and be able to walk to a few things, especially some of the things we're going to bring to the table. I feel really good about the product that they're bringing to the table. We're super excited to have them as partners.
And what's the plan with? So right now, you guys are distilling everything at the downtown location. Correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
So what's
and before we get into that, maybe we just poured
Let's talk about it.
another bourbon. There's gonna be a shit ton of bourbon poured, but this is our high rye double oak. So this is a West Fork distillate, about 5 years total age, 4.5, 5 years. It is 73% corn, the rest rye. So 2 grain mash bill, and then finished in another number 4 char barrel. So 2 number 4 chars.
What's this one proof at?
Oh, this is gonna be about 120 as well, give or
Yeah,
take.
yeah.
Just rich, really
nice
rich
because it
tobacco oak.
Yeah, it starts with that nice sweet bourbon kind of feel, and then finishes with all that rice spice.
Yep.
That's nice.
Almost like a raisin caramel bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on the palate, I get this real like candied. I don't know.
Pecan.
It's not really candied apple, but it's
I'm getting like a little bit of pecan in there.
German roasted
But I get a nice on the nose. You really pull the rye, like
Yeah.
a nice like rye bread. Like,
It's a cool
Yeah,
balance
right.
between that corn and the rye.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
I mean, that's a good barrel bourbon.
Oh, definitely.
Got just phenomenal color.
Yeah, it really does. Sorry, it's getting quiet because we're enjoying
We're
whiskey
drinking.
right now.
This needs to be a single barrel.
That's
Hopefully.
all it's gonna be.
Mhm.
We only have 1 or 2 barrels of it. Again, we talked about this a little bit offline. As a 9-year-old bourbon company, we're still figuring out what we're good at and not good at, and you know, when projects take you 4+ years, you know, it takes a while to figure out again what you're good at and not good at. And so right now, I think we only have a couple barrels of this, 1 or 2 barrels. So this will be a single barrel offering. Either go to account, or I'll sell it here.
Well, you said something when we were walking around the tour that I really appreciated, and it was, that you don't know where everything's going to go at this point. You're like, we're going to learn. We're going to make the best thing we can make, and if we need to pivot, we're going to pivot. It's like some people will, corner themselves into a market and say, this is all we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. You know what? If it's not good, you're screwed.
Here's what we know we like. We know we like really, really corn-forward mash bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's our identity. From there, we've primarily done what we call a hybrid sour mash. So it's not a traditional sweet mash and it's not a traditional sour mash. So we're not backsetting, but we're not sanitizing the tanks. We're letting it go about 7 days, so you get some of that sweet sour to it. We actually really like that style of fermentation, but we're still messing with the ultimate distillate and how we do that. Do we double distill? Do we not? What proof do we come off the still at? We've tried a lot of different things. Yeast we think we have down, but besides that, and then what char level and what cooperage do we love over time?
And that's something you're still playing with. Is
Absolutely.
char levels and
I
everything.
mean,
Yeah.
shit. Unless I'm here 50 years from now, I don't know if we'll have it down, right?
Yeah.
Again, it takes 4 or 8 years, and certain products will be better
Everything
at 8 years, at 6 years, at 10 years. I don't like bourbon over 10 to 12 years. I mean, there is some really good bourbon above that,
Yeah.
but I like 2 to 8 is kind of my sweet spot. But yeah, no, we're always trying to get better.
That's something we can talk about too, because we'd like to talk about this. Is you were talking about you have certain age levels that you really appreciate, some that are higher. We talk about, because again, I'm a huge Heaven Hill fan. We all are.
They make great product.
Heaven Hill, I feel like maxes out on their flavor profile around 12 years. Once you get beyond that, it doesn't improve.
I'd say less than that.
Maybe less than that.
I'd say 10.
Yeah, well, in our barrel pick, I know it was 11,
Yeah.
right at
It was
11,
like
11 and a
10-6.
half.
I'm saying
yeah.
generally
10-6.
speaking.
Yeah, it was 10-6.
But I feel like, once you get like, well, I don't know if you ever had the Elijah Craig C923. It was way too oaky, or at least the one
Is
we
that
tried.
is that the most recent release?
No, that was last September.
Blah 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 blah.
The number one whiskey for 2020.
Yeah, it was number one whiskey. A lot of people, and honestly,
Great.
we didn't
I have
like it.
I have a bottle of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof on my back bar. I usually do. My personal liquor store is Sobro.
Yep. Shout out
Great.
there.
I buy all my wine, all my beer. Right. Yes, I drink other things. Right.
Yeah.
And I do drink other people's bourbon from time to time. But to your point, I mean, I love sweeter bourbon. So sweeter bourbon is younger, and to me, really 4 to 6 years is a really good sweet spot. You start getting 8, 10, 12, certainly over 10 to 12, it gets over oaked and too tannic for me.
Yep, yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't incredible bourbon above
There
that.
is.
There absolutely is, right? That's not what I'm saying. Don't say Blake said this, so that's what's right.
I understand. It's more selective at that point.
Correct.
To get to that. So
You start getting that old, it'll get over oaked and tannic.
Right.
As a general rule.
More often than not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Will's our meter on that one because he's
Anybody who's tried all the Pappies, they know the 10, 12, 15s are the best, right?
Yeah.
You try anything above that,
Get above 15, it's not as good. Yeah.
you're eating wood.
Yeah.
Elijah Craig 18.
18. Yeah,
It
I'm
can
with
be
you, man.
very, the single
Yeah,
barrel
we
can
did
be
that
very
one. That we were not a
pencil-shaved.
fan of that one. It was
Same.
graphite pencils. It was weird.
It's
a
good
weird
if
one.
that's your profile. but
Neither
it's
of
not
those
my
things
profile.
sound appetizing to me.
No.
No.
Yeah, this sounds great. Taste this.
Yeah.
What did Will Haney say? This whiskey
This
tastes
is
like
terrible,
shit.
man. Try it.
I mean, I'll
Not
try
this
everything
one. This-
once,
this
right?
Is good.
Not this. Yeah.
Not this. This
yeah.
is an example. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's a damn solid barrel of bourbon. I mean, I'm not one of those guys. I think with my pricing, I prove this every day that tells you they have the best bourbon out there.
Right.
But what I do know is we make a damn quality product at a decent price. That's what I know.
Yeah.
So the one thing we always look for, we don't necessarily look for it. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We always try to find the distilleries that always claim we did this first. So is there something that you guys have done that was like this was your first? Like this is your claim to this is West Fork's first.
I don't want to piss anybody off, so I'll be a little cautious with this. But
Do you want to text me? I can piss him
I would say that most of that is bullshit.
We agree.
What I will
99%
say
of the time
Thank
it
you.
is.
is we're the only people to cultivate the 99% corn mash bill as a standalone mash bill and really stake our claim there. Again, we've already talked about the West Fork distillate. We're still experimenting there, right? We do this hybrid sour mash that not a lot of folks do like that. We're still figuring out. We do a non-boil mash. It's a longer, slower steeping process. Are we the first people to do that? No. Hell, moonshiners are probably the first people to do everything, right? They're just
Exactly.
doing whatever they can do to make booze.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm quite ready to say we're the first to do anything. Again, we're hell bent on creating very, very good corn forward bourbons and selling it at a really affordable price. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I do have a question. It's probably, I don't know, maybe the end of last year, I want to say. I feel like it was either you or somebody in West Fork sent a really detailed kind of a questionnaire out.
That was us, and it was
a lot
recently.
Of, a lot of the bourbon clubs. And I was just curious, like, what kind of feedback you got and what you kind of took and got out of that for you guys.
Look, again, we are hell bent on getting better every day, right? And we want to be in this business for a long, long time and build trust with our consumers and position ourselves. We're never going to be for everybody, right? We're making corn forward mash bills. So already we're not going to be for everybody, right? There are people that like rye, there are people that like a lot of wheat, and we do have a wheater, right? And we can talk about that. I don't think I brought actually a wheated out here. Yeah, I did a wheated finish, I think, in a second. But, look, we want to learn from our consumers, and we wanted to know what our consumers honestly thought about us. And I will actually tell you, I expected more negative feedback than came in. It was overwhelmingly positive. What people really, really liked, because we did one with West Fork and we did one with Old Hamer, and that was how honest we are about what we're doing, our prices, and they think it continues to get better and better. Those things I can build on, right? Now, one thing that we really, really learned is how people drink and enjoy our products, and that was key for us to continue to get better and spend our money in the appropriate ways as we connect with the ultimate consumer. And we realized that West Fork is this lifestyle. It's about the Journey brand. It's about getting better. It's about just enjoying bourbon together as it continues to innovate. And it's a little more innovative, whereas West Fork people think is a little bit more, Old Hamer is a little bit more blue collar. The funniest way, which I guess I've had shower beers, so that shouldn't shock me, that people really, really came through multiple
Shout out
times.
to shower beer.
Shout out was a shower bourbon.
Bourbon.
And one thing we really, really learned that I thought was cool was people that drink bourbon love sports, but you don't drink bourbon at the sporting event.
I do.
Well, that's majority of people don't.
I'm a beer
I
drinker,
think it's like
I'm
we're
not
the
a big-
anomaly, because I think you're right. Like
I'm not a
most
beer
people
guy.
do beer,
Yeah.
but when I don't know, when I see Circle City like out at places, there's certain things I want to try, and like I go to a Fuel game or something, and like I'm gonna drink Circle City.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get a Black Dog. That's just me.
Yeah.
So, if I see
nothing
some of
wrong with
these
Black Dog.
offerings up, there's nothing
Great
wrong
beer.
with that. Yeah, I just want. There's certain days I want to go get a beer. There's
Absolutely.
certain days that I'm going to stick with whiskey.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to mix it to 98% of the time.
Yeah, and the other thing we learned was what other people drink that are drinking our products, right? And what place do they hold for you, right? When are you pulling those products so we can better position the brand over time? And those were very interesting things. You'll continue to see surveys go out to not just our distributors and our retailers, but also bourbon clubs and individual everyday consumers. Because we have to figure out in the crowded world that is quickly becoming bourbon or has become bourbon over the last couple of years, how we fit in beyond just our mash bills and quality, because we'd love to say those things are the only two things that matter. They're not.
No, and that's a good point, because you hear a lot of distilleries that open up saying, we're just going to make our good whiskey that we like, and people are going to have to come around to it. You know what? That's half the battle. Actually, it's about a quarter of the battle.
I've
Because
done
the
that
rest
with
of
Old
it's
Hamer.
marketing and getting out there and meeting people and trying to find out what they like. I mean, I feel like the distilleries that are trying to just make whiskey that they like, they make great whiskey. That's no problem with that. But it's really hard to grow a brand when you're trying to just do that.
That's what Horst Soder said. We make whiskey that we love to drink, and we sell what we don't drink. That's their motto.
That's
Yeah.
good for
I'm
them.
like, cool.
It's good for them. If
All
one
right.
of the Rothschilds were funding me, I'd probably do that too.
You got another bottle coming, I see.
I love it.
Yeah, so your choice out of the next two. So we have a cast strength rum finish at the American Craft Spirits Association about a month or two ago. This was best of show for the state of Indiana. The rum finish, it was the 103 proof, so we got a cast strength. Just pulled this barrel. You guys haven't tried this one, but you did try the cherry brandy. So whichever one you want to go next,
Let's
we'll
do
open
cherry
next.
brandy first, and
You
we'll
do cherry
finish
brandy?
off on that one that you
Actually-
haven't tried yet. Well, no, you do what you want to do.
All right, I lied. I'm gonna pick.
You
We're gonna
pick,
do rum
you
finish.
pick. All right.
I just the cherry brandy. That cherry just coats your mouth so much. I want you to try the rum finish before.
Damn it, Blake.
Yeah, because I agree with you.
I'm
After
an
we tried
asshole.
that one first, I'd have to agree that I think that one's probably gonna overtake
Again,
that
this
one.
one's cast strength. It's been finished in a rum finish barrel for about a year and a half. It's our 99% corn bourbon, so it's our Old Hamer, Hugh Hamer line.
We got a line over here.
yeah,
We got the wires
Yeah.
over here.
yeah.
This is
the
for
production crew.
for the Hugh Hamer line and the finishes. This is my favorite.
Okay.
The sweet spice, extra viscosity that adds to that 99% corn mash bill is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it hangs on the glass, man.
And I'll tell you that
Beautiful.
we've got some
copper.
really, really cool awards coming this year with this one.
Yeah. If you want to tease them, tease them.
That's all I got.
All right. All right.
That's all I can do.
All right. I'll say it then. No, I won't. Huh?
We sell Padron. There's that. Surprise.
I mean, again, that extra bit of viscosity and oily components, a little bit of sweet spice, it tones down the cherry a little bit. Provides
But the
just some
rum
extra element.
shines.
Isn't it
Rum
cool?
shines through.
Isn't it cool?
I haven't even put it up to my nose
Oh.
yet, and I already get it from here.
It's badass. You're gonna like it.
With the wind blowing this right in my face, it's fantastic.
And dude, that's going great with that cigar.
This
Oh,
actually
man.
is probably a nice. Well, and it
Oh.
goes better with tacos and
Well,
bourbon,
yeah.
right?
Street tacos, baby. Let's go.
That label is really cool.
That's really good. That rum just shines
It
through.
really
on
does.
The palate. It's beautiful.
You know, the one thing we love about that 99% corn mash bill, it's a little bit malleable when it comes to the finishes. We're still figuring out. We said again, you guys saw the great brandy back there. We didn't try one today, but we tried a lot of different finishes. So we're honing in for the first time ever. We used to offer it only by the single barrel, and you had to buy the full barrel. Couldn't even buy a half barrel a couple years ago of it. But now we've got 2 everyday SKUs for a double oak, so 2 number 4 char barrels, and then the rum finish at 103 proof. And so you can, any account, any person can buy it by the bottle, by the 6-pack.
Nice.
But those come at 103. If you want the cash strength, you gotta buy the barrel.
By the barrel, baby. Yep.
We need to do a podcast bottle. Not just a final third bottle, but the final third podcast bottle.
We got to find a way to sell the bottles to our people because I can't sell them at the shop. So we'll
Good news.
we
I
gotta
have a retail and online platform I could partner with you on.
my man. All right, there we go. We got it.
I was just
Done.
going to
You know some
suggest the
guys.
back of
We
my-
know, guy. All right,
I was
cool.
going to suggest the back of my car, but I don't think that would work.
It might be illegal.
I
Well,
mean-
hey, once I sell it to you, I don't.
He is.
You do whatever you want with
He
it.
is a distributor too. So
There you go. There you go.
I think the thing that I like out of everything that we've tried with all of the caramel notes that we've picked up today, it's not just a caramel note. It's a scratch caramel. So it's like a fresh caramel. Like you made this caramel from scratch, not just like caramel syrup. It's not like Hershey's caramel. It is fresh. My mom made this caramel syrup in a pan with milk and sugar.
It's not overly sweet, right?
Right,
It's sweet
yeah.
without being overly sweet.
I think, and that does exactly what you were saying about the corn is malleable. That lower, not just a caramel bomb, is allowing the flavors of the barrel to pop through really nicely.
It blends well with everything
It
else.
really does.
Yeah. So I would have to say that with all of the products that we've tried today, it seems that the most common one is caramel.
That's okay. Hey,
Yeah, and
little
that's-
hint for all the bourbon people out there.
That's a good
The-
thing.
The 2 flavors that you get from the barrel, primary flavors, are caramel and vanilla. All bourbons
All
should
of
have some measure of caramel and vanilla.
Yep. Oak does
That's
a
American
certain
oak.
thing.
That's
Yep.
charred
right.
American oak.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
but
does.
this high rye double oak's got a really nice fruit note
It
on
does.
the palate too that
Yeah.
I like a lot. This rum.
Yeah, and that one's 73% corn. I think that is the lowest amount of corn we put in a product.
That's wild.
Okay.
I mean, unless it's a rye. We do have a rye that's 60% rye, 40% corn, but that is a rye whiskey that is very corn heavy, right?
very
It's not that
different.
95.5
Yeah,
or 100%. But yeah, bourbon, it's going to be at least 73% corn.
So on your West Fork mash bills, are you using malted barley, or are you using mostly enzymes, or?
We're using mostly enzymes, as I know you guys know this, but the flavoring grains, corn, wheat, and rye, barley's there for primarily enzymatic process. We use primarily enzymes. We actually rarely use barley in our West Fork mash bills. Now I say that we've got a really good high corn bourbon going on behind the scenes. It's about 2.5, 3 years old, so we won't release it for another year or two. But no, rarely barley. We want flavorful, grain forward, sweet products, and barley just it doesn't allow us to do that as much as the rye or the wheat or.
And
or
I'm glad you
heavy.
said grain forward because that's something that, a lot of people use the word grain forward as if it's young and not very good. We're trying to change that policy. It's like, if it's grain forward, that means you're spotlighting the grain going into the glass, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's what we want
absolutely.
to hear because I hear too many people use that as a indicator of something young. It's like, no,
Probably just means they don't know what they're talking about.
you're right. And that's
We're trying to change that.
It is, and it's also just the vernacular of people trying to figure out how to describe something, and they don't know the words and terms to use. It'd be nice if we had better terms out there for sure.
What are your favorite terms that people use?
Strong.
I don't know. The
Young.
grain forward is
Young.
probably the biggest one for me. Is like people just use it in so many different ways. Like grain forward should be a good thing. You know, that's one thing that
Some people love it.
you say. That's the same thing that Alan Bishop says.
Alan's
But it
a
could
great
just
guy.
be a
forward's
young
great
grain.
thing. Same thing with Whiskey Acres. They all say, you know, grain forward. That's what we're trying to do. But then they always have to put the indicator out. It's like, but we're saying it as a good thing. It's like you shouldn't have to.
No, and again, you
Let
already
it
said
shine.
it.
Let it shine.
If people love it, telling everybody else to fuck off. If that's what you
Exactly.
like, who cares?
Exactly. Yep.
The Chris Gordon method. Shout out Chris Gordon.
Mhm.
I like this whiskey. It's good.
It's
Thanks.
either good or it's bad.
Good or it's bad. That's it.
Yeah, I love.
I like that. You should actually just no more rating systems. Do you like it or do you not like it?
Is it
So
good?
let's move on.
Yes. Is it
Exact-
bad? No. Okay. Next.
That's the way every bourbon should be. If you
That's
like
Chris
it, buy it.
Gordon's
If you don't.
We have a friend. His name's Chris Gordon. He knows what he likes. He knows the cigars that he likes. He knows the bourbon that he likes. Doesn't know why he likes them.
That's okay. You
Yes.
don't have to.
Yeah. That's
Sometimes it's not logical. It's emotional, right? And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a physical and emotional.
And to be fair, he has probably single-handedly destroyed my Hugh Hamer double oak bottles that I.
Yes, he has.
Once
Oh, you
that
like
in
the
my
double
house.
oak, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
he loves the double oak. That's his jam, man. He loves it. The bourbon or the rye. He
I would
does both.
argue blind that Hugh Hamer double oak next to the Woodford, and I bet more often than not you get people liking the
I
Hugh
don't-
that's
Hamer
cool.
better. It's
I
sweeter.
could see that. Yeah.
It's not as tannic and, or oaky. It's a little more caramel forward. We think it's better, and it's about the same price.
Yeah. Awesome.
And here you're sporting.
What's
I got twin girls at home.
that? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Support local.
So,
Support local.
what, Blake? Do you guys do any kind of like education here? Do you have classes? Do you do tastings? Do you? I mean, anything along those lines to try to educate the new bourbon drinker or the new whiskey drinker?
So one thing we found in our research, you asked about research earlier, is that West Fork is often a gateway for bourbon people. And for the core of bourbon, we may not be bourbon enough for them sometimes. They may graduate away from us, and that's okay. If we can help grow the market, that's great. And so what do we do here, and why does this building exist? So we have a thieving experience now. Not a lot of people get to experience drinking bourbon right out of a barrel. And so we talk about our production, but because we're not quite in production at this facility in Westfield, it's about tasting and about how the barrel impacts the flavor of the bourbon itself. But one thing that you guys actually didn't go in this room, but you probably saw, we have a room called literally education.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as we get our mechanical contractor that is working right now, we get our stills fired up in the next 90 days roughly, we'll have full-blown tourism programs where we have multiple levels of bourbon classes and tours. So people can really come and get to know bourbon, and that's good for everybody, right? The more
Yeah.
tours they go on in Kentucky or, Hotel Tango or Hard Truth or Three Floyds or whoever in Indiana, right? Old 55 out there, they're all doing awesome stuff over time.
Yep.
The better it is for all of us, right? With Alan, and he just moved to Old Homestead. I hope they have a phenomenally successful program down there.
Same.
Because the more educated people are and the more they care about the product and where it comes from, the better it is for all of us.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing we talked about a little bit on the last show was, we have you have the tobacco world, you have the whiskey world, and they're very, very similar in the mindsets where, distilleries should actually promote each other and work with each other. Same with tobacco farms and tobacco brands, because these industries, even though they may be really big, are still really small and niche. It's like there's no reason to be tearing
and
each
after
other
the
down and trying
first
to fight against each other.
8 to 10 distilleries, there's a big gap.
Yes.
And then there are a lot of regional craft guys that, about our size, about Starlight size, about New Riff size, right? Where they're kind of in this world where you can make a good amount of bourbon.
Yeah.
And you're not quite as big as the big guys, but you're not quite small. There are going to be a lot of guys like that over the next 2 to 4 years that come to age with really, really good products at a really affordable price. So I think we're actually entering the golden age of craft over the next 2 to 4 years of the independent bottlers are going to do an awesome job. They'll always be able to pick awesome barrels because they have the flexibility. But really, these regional craft players, these semi-national players, and we mentioned, some of them from Texas, I mentioned some of them just a second ago, that are really having really good product at age and an affordable price. I'm really excited about the next few years.
Yeah. And it seems
there's
like
a lot.
the craft beer market, is kind of at a plateaued, and it's not really growing, but it's not really shrinking too much either. But we're just getting into that craft whiskey where people are starting to think of whiskey as the craft.
Yep.
And that's the biggest market, I think, right now, of people moving into whiskey, especially young people. Young people want to try everything.
Yep.
There's no faux pas. I was like, I'm not a big whiskey fan because I tried Jim Beam once. It is what it is.
Look,
And-
we all had a bad night on Jim or Jack. Let's be honest.
always. Yeah.
Mine was
exactly.
Gentleman Jack.
Mine was
Oh,
Jim.
You're a classy broad.
Classy broad. Man, he knows you.
Wait, that one time at band camp?
Exactly.
So the fact that,
Right.
like, you, your brother, your best friend started this, and you kind of got it where it's at now, is this something you want, like, you want West Fork to be a legacy, to be in your family for generations to come? Do you want to say, hey, if I get a good check coming in, adios? Like, where are you at?
I would say I'm a businessman. Everything has a price. And I think most people that say that it doesn't, they're lying. There's a price for everything.
You're right.
But one thing we want to do is create a company that makes an impact and as sustainable as possible. What happens after that? Markets change rapidly, and the market right now is ever changing around us. And so we'll see where it ends. What I do know is I want to create the best corn forward bourbon right here in Indiana that is possible. From there, again, if I could do certain things with my life, if a certain check came across, I'm not going to lie to you. There is a number.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want Poppy and June, my twin girls, in the alcohol business. But if there's someone who buys it from us, or one of my partners has kids, that is absolutely an option. We want to create a company that can stand the test of time. And those are the companies, by the way, that people want to pay the most money for.
Yeah.
And again, you guys, Rob's a small business person. There's a check for everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I guaranteed a lot of debt to do these things, and I've taken a lot of risk. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. My most recent business that I started, I started it with the intent of selling it. So like I started it with the end goal of getting out of it at some point.
But there's also a balance to that too, because
Right.
I feel like there are people, and I'm not calling them out because I could, but I won't. There are some people out there that get into whiskey or cigars that don't have a passion for it, and they're just creating a brand to try to sell it. And if you don't have a passion behind it, it's never going to work. You have to have the passion. That's the thing you have with your businesses are you have a passion for it, even though you're looking to maybe sell it. You still have a passion for it. Same way with Will with his business. He has a passion for what he's done. He's still doing it, even though he sold his business. And it's like, I feel like you have to have a passion behind it before you get to the point of actually being able to sell it.
Well, and my hardcore business mind and all my formal training would say you start with the end in mind. A lot of entrepreneurs, venture capital, private equity guys will tell you that.
Yep.
And if it's about just trying to figure out what's next, then that's okay. And if you create a company that might be bought, that means you're going to do well.
Yeah. Agree.
So if that number came up and you were to move on from West Fork, would you call it quits at that point, or would you move on to starting another brand?
Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This
you're
went
good.
dead. Something went dead.
Oh, his
Was that me? Hold on. My bad. How about now?
Oh, there we go. Now I can
There
hear
you
you.
go.
I fat fingered. My bad.
All right. What'd you say? I apologize.
If that number came up and you were to move on from West Fork and sell out this brand, would you build a new brand, or would you just be done with the spirits altogether?
Man, I don't know. My wife asked me that one point recently. I'll tell you this. I have a huge entrepreneurial spirit. And
Sure.
I've told her all the time I'm going to have 5, 6, 7, 8 careers in my life. And that scares the shit out of my parents. They think you can only be a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. Those are the only careers because they're super stable and can make good money. So I'm unsure what I'd do next, to be honest with you. Probably depends on the number.
yeah.
But, I love this industry. It's a really, really fun industry. I've met a lot of awesome people, brand owners, distillers, guys like you, trying to cultivate a bourbon community. I mean, this is the most fun that it can be, is right here, right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard not to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. Like, the number's great, but I think at some point, like, it's a passion as well. When we went to Whiskey Acres and we talked to them, he said the same thing.
They're out of Illinois, right?
Yeah, DeKalb. He said obviously there's a number, but he wants to protect the brand that he started. So like obviously he's not just going to sell out for billions of dollars if they're gonna destroy the brand. Like there's gonna be
I don't know,
stipulations.
billions.
I don't
Sounds,
know, billions.
I mean, but yeah, you could do whatever you want. You could set it on fire. I hate to say that. That's a big number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it was a shirt, like you can take my shirt.
I mean, literally, I will give you my car. I'll take off my pants.
I was gonna say, if anybody's out there wants to spend billions of dollars buying Final Third, it's yours, buddy.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. But I hear your point, right?
yeah, maybe
There-
$1 billion was a bad
There,
thing.
there are numbers to protect it.
You're right,
Absolutely, and numbers
right.
to not. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got another buddy that's kind of going through a similar thing with the name on his brand that was mixed up in some legal issues that now it's kind of tarnished his name. And like I think at some point, like I would almost say no to a certain number just to protect my name.
Yeah.
But if I could get it to the point to where I could move on from the previous to move to a new brand and people know what happened in between, then I'm gonna move on and let the powers that be.
It's
take
probably different for each of the co-founders too. There are 3 of us, right?
Sure.
So my brother, you guys got to meet him briefly. He's a mad scientist type, right? Undergrad in biochemistry, master in biology.
What's his
dropped
name?
out of medical school. Julian
Julian.
Jones. He'd probably tell you that it doesn't matter the amount of money he's going to get. He's coming back into the bourbon business, right?
Sure.
In the whiskey business. David, I have no idea. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but until or if ever an offer comes in, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I-
So
I think the best thing is not needing to do it.
right.
If you're doing it with the intention of I have to make money and I got to survive. I got to.
But we all have to make money.
We all have to make money.
Yes.
That's great, but to get to the point to where like you don't physically need it to survive, then you're doing it because it's what you're passionate about and it's what it's what fuels you.
Absolutely.
It's what keeps you going.
So
And hope you can hear my passion. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we
Let's
do.
talk about the whiskey you just poured us.
So this one, only 3 barrels ever of it. It actually is our longest finish that we've had to date. It is, well, not including the Chardonnay Triple Oak, which we didn't try that one.
Ooh, that one's good. No,
It's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
I don't like wine finishes, though. We talked about that
Oh,
earlier.
we
That's
did,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
because we're big fans of port. So
Yeah, so you guys actually may fucking love it. Maybe we'll try it before you guys leave.
All right.
Anyways, this is a cherry brandy finish. So it's been like about 4.5, 5 years in the initial resting, and then about 2 in a cherry brandy barrel. I really, really love this one. This particular barrel that we're trying might be sold. So I'm excited to see if this particular customer says yes to it, but we stole a little bit from them. I'm not going to name them in case they're like, hey, why'd you sample my barrel? Well, I've got it in reserve. But I'd be curious to see what you guys think of it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And we talk about Jackie Zycan. She came to our place and did a sensory training. And one of the things she says is, don't just think about what flavors you're getting. Think about what it reminds you of, the experience of where you were or whatever. And this one takes me back to my childhood. And I mean this in the best way because I know some people say cough drop and it's terrible. But, man, when I was a kid, and I was a pretty sick kid, and I've been a diabetic since I was 11.
I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't know if you were making a joke or
No,
not.
I'm being serious. I had a lot of issues.
he was
Still,
dope.
I still do. But
Sick.
but Cherry Luden's cough drops, that sweet cherry, I kind of get that, and it reminds me of my childhood. And I really love that flavor in this. I know
But it's not like
that.
an overpowering dark cherry or cherry.
It's
like
not.
a nice
It's just
compliment.
perfect
Yeah.
balance, and it's super. That sweetness is there, but you still get the whiskey behind it. It's
Tell you what,
really
Rob, if this
nice.
account doesn't buy it, I'll split it with you.
all right.
4 ways.
More like to me, it's more like a cherry. What do you call those things? Cherry slushy, cherry icy.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
Get
yeah.
that cherry,
Sa-
nice
yeah,
cherry
same
note
flavor.
in it.
Yeah.
So this one reminded me when I started getting into tobacco outside of cigarettes. I started with a pipe. I started doing pipe tobacco. This one really reminded me of a tobacco. It's a cherry Cavendish that Corn and Deal had,
Yeah.
and it was one of my favorite ones. It's a dark cherry, and this is very similar to that. It was like the pitted cherry kind of flavor. Not super sweet to me, but that's my memory is that.
Yeah.
Like the very first pipe tobacco I ever tried was this.
Yeah. And I still get that. I think you said this earlier. I still get that little bit of a tobacco kind of note in there underneath the cherry. So I can see exactly where you're going with that. And it
I
could
might
be.
still have a 10 at home.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
So good
I don't
caramel
need another
too.
hobby.
I mean, good caramel
Yeah,
cherry.
good caramel on it.
Yeah, very.
It's almost like a cherry covered caramel.
Ooh.
Very good.
Talking about the fat kids in the audience right here.
Man, how do you cherry cover a caramel?
Very well.
Very carefully.
I think
Over
you should,
2 years in a barrel.
Exactly.
This is fantastic.
This one was really fun. I mean, we tried some really good bourbon today already.
And this is
We
one
did.
of the West Fork.
No, this was Old Hamer as well.
Okay.
A lot of these crazy finishes. I think the only one we pulled from the West Fork, besides the weeded Bloody Butcher, which we
was
tried
delicious.
before.
Yes.
We should have brought that one on air, but
We
whatever.
could talk about
We
that.
could
in a
talk
second,
about
though.
it.
For the High Rye Double Oak.
Or the High Rye Double
Yeah.
Oak is fantastic, and also you guys got to try this chocolate malted High Rye bourbon that I brought out too.
Oh,
It's
wait,
probably
what-
bacon in the
Oh,
sun
wait.
right there, but
More whiskey? What?
yeah, more bourbon.
Oh, no thanks.
No,
I mean,
and that's one thing. The West Fork. We tried several of the West Fork brands already without even trying these bottles yet. It's really good. I mean, you guys are making some really good product. I hadn't tried a lot of it before. I've tried obviously the Old Hammer and Hugh Hammer. You're doing some great stuff, man.
Well, most
Hamer.
people haven't had it for
I said
years.
Hammer, didn't I?
Hamer.
I said Hammer, didn't I?
Most people haven't had it for years. And when we first came out, we had to make some money, and it was a little bit young. But we've grown up a little bit since then, and now our minimum age statement's about 4 years. It's usually 4 years plus product. So we've grown up, and we've got some good barrels of bourbon, and it doesn't matter what you drink, we probably can have a good bourbon
Right.
for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in the same West Fork that 4 to 6 years ago. This is a way different variety of West Fork.
Yeah,
And that's great. I mean, we talked about this a little bit before we started doing the podcast, is that, we're trying to help these local brands within the state of Indiana. We know you want to do the right thing. We know you guys are going towards the right direction, and we see that, and we want everyone else to see that too.
yeah.
Like you said, this is a gateway into bourbon. West Fork might be that.
If that
So,
ends up being our niche, and we just bring people into bourbon because we're really approachable and sweet, and we're at a good price,
I think
that's
that's
okay.
great.
That's
Yeah.
a great place for all of us, right?
That's
It's a great
perfect.
place for
Yeah.
people coming into Final Third. That's a great place for everybody, right? I've heard,
Yeah.
hey, I tried West Fork, and they said, where can I go get cigars and drink my brand? Hey, go over to see Rob and his
Yeah.
boys, right? Or whoever. Go over, drink some cigars, hang out with him. He'll walk you through a bunch of different bourbons over there. That's phenomenal, right? That's good for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep, agree.
Should do a tasting, Rob.
Isn't that what we're doing? What?
Caller already on it.
Perfect.
Lisa's got a
As
microphone.
long as she's
over there.
driving.
Yeah, Lisa does have a microphone on.
Yeah, Lisa's got a microphone. Pick it up, Lisa.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, don't worry about the tasting. Me and Nicole are already on it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, and you're getting ashtrays, by the way.
Oh, perfect. She's got a company credit
We
card.
got you covered.
We got you. We got you.
this,
Yes.
this is my personal set of stinkies. So
Yeah, I saw them out here. I'm like, man, do they have these out here? Nope. Mike's brought them from his
no,
house.
you sold them to me.
That stand you have is pretty sweet.
Yeah, this one's great, man. I love it.
Is that a light? What is that thing on
No,
top?
it's just a handle.
Oh, it's just a handle.
Oh.
You can take
It'd be cool
this.
if it
You
was
can
a-
take the
yeah,
ashtray
it's
off
magnetic.
and dump it.
Yeah.
But then you're able to
Magnetic.
lift
Oh,
up the whole thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
great. You got a little drink
You
shelf.
can walk
here.
the dog with it.
yeah, I mean, whatever you need.
If you got to stop, you can put it down.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. I love everything that's happened here. I
Yeah.
love everything that I love the direction that West Fork's going.
Same.
I think this has been good.
I mean, you guys have gotten a really, really good. I mean, we can try the one of the base SKUs here if you want to too. But
Well, you said chocolate malt. Let's try the
you,
chocolate malt.
you
for
guys
sure.
have tried a lot of both my West Fork distillate and my Old Hamer distillate.
Yep.
So you've gotten a lot of you've really seen who we are today, right? I've lifted up the skirt. You've seen behind the scenes. We've tried a lot of bourbon out of a barrel. There was no hiding anything, and some of those barrels I haven't tried for months, or if ever. So it's not like I was cultivating an experience for you, trying to put our best foot forward. I was saying, hey, here's who we are, and hopefully you like us.
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, we definitely, like I said, we definitely want to try your white dog before we take off, or if you want to get somebody here for the show, let's get some on the show.
Let me text.
Nicole.
Shane.
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 Yes, Lisa.
Okay, so
From the
another
peanut
question, and forgive me if you've already said this. What's the difference between Old Hammer, and Hugh Hammer?
Yeah, so Hugh Hamer is our second barrel age. Like it's we call the older, more sophisticated sibling. So it's been double barreled to some extent. So if you see Hugh, that means it's been barreled twice. And if you see it with a cream background, that means 103 proof. And if you see it with a black background, that means cask strength or barrel strength.
Okay.
So the differences is strictly the age and the double barrel nature.
Good call.
Yeah,
And-
I think I got the first double oaked single barrel cask strength from Rural Inn. I think
Oh,
that
they
was
had some
maybe
good
your
ones.
first one that came out.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
They have some good ones.
Well-
We just did a really cool thing with them where we called it the Singular Series. So we got misshipped barrels in one of our batches over the last few years, and we were like, what the hell do we do with these? They're not 99% corn. They're certainly not the age that we got that batch at. And we were like, what the hell do we do with them, right? Like, I can't really put them under Old Hamer because it doesn't suit the brand. Can I put them under West Fork? I don't know. And I can't really sell them here. Should I sell them to a account? I don't know. So I called Ray, and I said, Ray, hey, I've got these 2 random barrels. Like, you want to buy them and release them for me? I don't know what they are. And turns out we think they're between 8 and 10 year old. We think it's their MGP's lower rye mash bill that got misshipped. They were labeled 99% corn, right? They were labeled with the batch and everything that we had bought and were aging. Fuck, they were good.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Well, you need another stick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll take one.
Warhead 10?
Nice.
Sorry, Rob. You got one more street taco.
I
in
do
you,
over
so-
here. I'm good for now, so that's all good.
I got a 9. I brought a 10, so we'll stick in a
Nice.
10. So
Good for you.
Sorry, I was texting Shane to see if he could bring us some white dog.
Shane,
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I can't really yell for him like I usually do.
he might hear us.
We're outside. He's in the warehouse.
He's working. Blake's working out here.
Hey, I'm working. We're developing relationships
working.
and drinking bourbon. This is my job.
Hell yeah. Isn't that one of the best things about this industry?
Literally the best.
Oh, I
This
love
is
it.
the
I
job.
love it. This is the best part of the job right here.
Just like Rob is, quote, working.
Hey, Rob's
Because
working.
he's
Yeah,
the face.
that's
I'm
right.
working.
I'm working. I push a lot of buttons.
Hell of a beer.
Yeah.
Beard.
No, that's what I'm doing. Or we're doing. We're working on our tan.
I might be burnt tomorrow.
I know. I'm like, man, why didn't you wear
You might
tank
grab
tops
me a
out
water
here?
too.
I think our thumbnail, we should all be shirtless, just to piss off Deshaun.
Can we discuss that later?
No.
After we go shirtless, you can discuss it later.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking.
Well, you guys, you and
we
Jen,
sleep on that.
you and Jen can keep your shirts on. It's fine. I mean, if
Shout
you
out
want-
to Shong. I'm taking my shirt off.
America does not want to see me with my shirt off, so I'm gonna. Right.
Now, if Scott was
Well, it's
here,
a good thing it's centralized Indiana.
I will say it's like 55 degrees out, and it feels like it's about 85 right here.
Oh no, it's
Oh,
gonna be
it's amazing.
60s or 70s.
Yeah.
now.
Oh, is it today?
gotta
Okay,
be.
okay.
It's 60 something.
They claimed it was
Oh.
only going to be 60, but it's way hotter than that. There's no way. I mean, I guess
Right.
we're drinking.
We're also
Let's check
sitting
it.
on the concrete.
62.
I will say, man, I was sitting
It's like
out on
100 degrees here.
my back deck this morning. It was 40 degrees. Sitting on the back deck in my shorts and maybe my underwear, but I won't say that.
With no shirt.
With no shirt, out there just enjoying it. Dog was having a blast. It was great.
What kind of dog?
She's more of a mutt, but she's mostly Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Oh, I love that little ridge when they get a
Oh
little.
yeah,
Oh, it's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. My
Yeah.
All right,
sister
so
has
this
one.
is the chocolate malt.
Chocolate malted high rye bourbon.
Oh,
All right.
It says everything you
Oh.
need to know about it on the back. Literally every, piece of information possible is
That
on the
chocolate
back.
malt just
77
comes out of
corn,
the nose.
23 chocolate malted rye. 3 years. Char 3, American oak. Hybrid.
I get a slight chocolate note
A
there.
little bit of a
Cotton.
chocolate note on that.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shocking.
110 proof. I got a line over here. Hold
And so
on.
this is West Fork distillate, obviously.
Yeah.
If you see the tall cylindrical bottle, West Fork.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this packaging.
So all of the West Fork's going to be in the tall, like wine style bottles,
I
right?
can't say all ever, but
Okay. At least now.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I used to say things more definitively, and then I realized over time there might be some crazy release where it's like, oh, let's do something cool in this crazy bottle, right? Or this crazy way.
I mean, you might want to put a cow on top of them that are doing different walking method.
Or a corn cob, different corn cobs.
Yeah, different open.
You collect all the corn
I
cobs,
call it corn cob. It says corn.
and if you bring them to the store, you
CORN.
get a free dinner.
So did you ever try the Woodford chocolate malted rye?
I did not.
It's pretty good. It was much more subtle on the nose than this one. With the Woodford chocolate malted, I think you had to get in 2 or 3 sips of it before you actually got that chocolate.
It's
You get the chocolate
this
on both
is not,
sides.
That's not
yeah.
sweet like this is, though. This has got that
This is like
sweetness.
98% cacao on the nose.
And the palate. I mean, once you get past the sip, even it just feels like you got a little bit
Oh,
of
that's
cocoa on the
chocolate,
palate.
toffee,
Oh, it's so good.
caramel.
Holy shit.
Isn't that good?
That's a cool bourbon.
Yeah, it's not so chocolate heavy on the palate.
No, but it kind of coats it, and then the corn still pops through.
Oh yeah,
on the palate, which
the
is
caramel
nice.
comes through. So
It does,
strong.
yeah.
Well, it says marshmallow. I'm not getting a lot of marshmallow. I'm still getting the
I get.
cacao.
I
Like,
can go.
I'll
with
blame that on Julian. He makes the tasting notes for the bottles.
Damn it, Julian.
God forbid someone's palate be different.
That's just wrong. Hi, Shane.
Shane.
Shane, everyone.
Hey, look, we have a little bit of white dog to drink.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Shane.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Shane.
Just what we need. A bunch of unaged bourbon.
Well, that's for us to hydrate. It looks very clear like water.
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah,
water,
we're
right?
way past
I will tell you that
calibrated.
one of our first nights opening after we opened our downtown tasting room about 7 years ago now. I was working as a server, and we were trying to make sure everyone gets water right before, and we used empty bottles of bourbon, right, or glass to pour water in, right. Well, I'm grabbing one out of the fridge, and it looks like water, right? You cannot tell a difference. And pour it, doesn't smell it. We're all hustling, right? It's crowded. Everyone's having fun. We're trying to get water out as much as possible. We pour these 4 glasses over ice, and walk away. We'll be right back. Get your order, right? They're like, hey, waves down. No, come back. And we're like, oh, I'm really sorry. What can we do for you? Do you want to go ahead and get your drinks in, etc.? I don't think this is water. And I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, do you mind if I smell it? Smell it with just 3 massive glasses of white dog. Like, literally,
Oh, no.
I would have, like, if it were me at a place, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
But these people were nice enough to let us know. And of course, they went back and the staff drank them later. So it didn't go to waste. But
No, never.
yeah, that would have been definitely overserved somebody there. Hopefully
Yeah.
the ATC is not listening. I took it back.
Yeah. Of course you did.
Of course I did.
So you sell the white dog as well.
We do, but I will tell you, we don't sell our normal like distillates for our wheated or high rye as the white dog. It's 100% corn.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'll be curious. It's still representative of what our distillate is like. So I'd be curious to see what you guys think here in a second.
I tell people all the time, if you can get into a distillery and you try a few of the products and actually try the white dog, it's a really cool way to learn whiskey on what the barrel does to a white spirit.
It's huge.
Yeah,
And
you can pick a little. You can pick some different things out of that.
you
for
really
sure.
can, yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a really, really important indicator as to what the bourbon might be like in a
Mhm.
barrel, 4 years later.
So I have a question, Blake. Like the 3 of you guys started all these different backgrounds, right? I mean, your brother probably had the science background.
Law, finance, and science.
So who took the reins of like actually learning how to distill? Was it all 3 of you, or your brother, or how that?
So David and I did do some training at another distillery, just so we are well versed and know. But David and I are not the distillers.
Okay.
And thankfully, my brother in his master's not only did a lot of distillation in labs, but did a lot of research on yeast. Doesn't like to talk about it, right? He's not one of those nerdy guys who likes to tell you everything. Like, he will tell you that you got to pull it out of him.
Okay.
In every second. And then from there, we knew what it should be like. He designed our system. And then it was, it's his baby. We question him along the way. We tell him what we want it to be like, and we're dumb enough to ask really stupid questions. But he's our head distiller. And he's who drives that. And he's who designs our systems
That's awesome.
with a certain flavor profile in mind.
So your yeast, do you want to talk about your yeast at all?
I mean, we've used a wide variety, 3 to 5. I may have a different opinion than some in that it is an important factor. It is an influencing factor. It is not the predominant factor. And there are some people who make it, front and center, and some people who don't. Most distilleries would probably tend to say that yeast is there to produce alcohol and to not harm the bourbon, and hopefully create some good flavors. So I would argue it's really, really important. We do have a couple strains that we really like, but we tend to like the ones that produce the most amount of alcohol because the barrel, if you're distilling right and you like your builds, et cetera, and you're fermenting correctly in terms of, how you ferment and not just the use you use, you'll get roughly industry yields. And so I yeast is a factor. I wouldn't say it's an important factor for us and our style. But we like to make alcohol with our yeast.
Yeah.
Are you guys still playing with barrel entry proof, or have you kind of think you've got that locked in? Or
We're absolutely still playing with it.
Yeah.
It's anywhere between 110 and 115 and 120. We typically don't enter a 125 because we don't have a lot of 8-year projects yet. You typically find the lower entry proof is better younger, and a higher entry proof, and this is because of the chemistry, but the higher entry proof is better for longer term projects. And that's across the industry. It's not just us, right? That's just a general rule. So we're still experimenting again. We're just trying to figure out what our mash bills and our fermentation do at certain ages, at certain entry proofs.
Well, I feel like my buzz is kind of starting to go away a little bit. So let's get some of that white dog going.
White dog.
Lord.
We're gonna get Blake hammered. He's gonna have to hit the couch here in a
I'm
few
a
minutes.
professional.
He's
I know
not
you
driving
are.
today.
I'm a professional.
I've been here before.
This chocolate malt
Oh, I love
with
Fucking
this cigar,
fantastic.
that. Yeah.
it's a.
Oh,
I mean,
Warhead
it's
10.
phenomenal.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I forgot.
It was great
I
with
forgot
mine,
to bring
too.
that other one I meant to blind you on. I might text someone else too.
Shane.
Shade.
Nicole.
Is she in the building? Will you text her?
Will you text her?
Tell her to come here.
I should have given her a headset, and then we could have just talked to her.
Excuse me, can you find this, please?
Yes.
Tasting this.
Nicole?
You want? I'm still tasting this one.
Paging Nicole.
Oh, yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Give me a swig.
Good.
And if she can find the high corn bottle and bond too that we've got out right now, very limited amounts. That one's like a liquid candy corn.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
That
Yeah,
would
my
be a
wife would
really,
hate that one.
You know,
really, really cool
I will
one.
say, so many people hate candy
Dude, this
corn.
smells good.
I love candy corn, man.
Jen hates it. I fucking love candy
I
corn.
love it, man.
Oh.
Candy corn and popcorn, man. Let's
So-
go.
Do you like circus peanuts too, Rob?
Occasionally, only because of the memory of my mom. My mom loved those things.
Oh,
So if I eat one, all it does is remind
Love-
me of my mom.
love it. Love circus peanuts.
Yep. So,
Walking to the
so your
gas
white
station.
dog is at 80 proof.
80
That's what
proof,
I wanna
100% corn. Hold on.
So this is
now I gotta try to find someone to
Bring us more alcohol.
I am. Bring us a. I'm not gonna tell you.
One alcohol. So
One alcohol, please. Need in a 750 ml bottle. Thank
Yes,
you.
please.
we wanted to start a bar, and that's going to be the name. Is
One
one
alcohol,
alcohol,
please.
please.
I actually think that'd be a phenomenal bar
That'd be a
name.
great
Oh,
bar.
And shit, I should have.
So your new
That's
MI community over here. We're going to open a bar, and it's going to be called One Alcohol.
Well, we might. We might. Rob and I might.
She said she wants to talk to you.
Who's this?
Nicole. She
You
left.
could put her on the air. That's fine.
She left.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Hey.
I was ready to tell
We're on the podcast right now.
We can
Never
hear
mind.
you. Hi.
She's going to have somebody
All right, never mind. I already text Shane. I apologize.
else. And hey, there's more food if you need it, guys, because you're going to need it.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. Sorry to bother you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
She
Yeah.
was awesome, man.
Oh, Nicole's the best.
So how
Yeah,
long has she been
Nicole
with your
Austin,
company?
everyone.
You know, so we, as we started getting product 4+ years old over the last 3 to 6 months, we started looking to scale up our sales department. And I just so happened that someone who worked for me knew her. And we had met years ago when we thought about switching distributors. And she worked for Johnson Brothers at that time. And so I was just networking, trying to get to know other people. And we reconnected again a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. And she was trying to get back in the business. She was at 3Chi, the CBD and THC company. And I said, hey, you want to take a risk with me? I know you're a great salesperson. You want to come help me grow a sales arm? We have 4 full-time sales reps in Indiana, about to hire 1 in Illinois. We're going to launch in 5 to 10 more states. We'll have in any relevant market, we'll have at least 1 rep. And I like doing this stuff. I don't love traveling, and my family doesn't love traveling. So, hey, do you want to do those things? And so I hired her, and it's been working out awesome. Nicole's great. So I'm glad you've had a good experience with
So
her.
what is her title again?
Sales director. I don't know. Call her
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Salesperson,
She's
sales
super
lead,
nice.
sales manager, sales state manager,
Yeah.
all
Sort of
things
wine
West Fork whiskey
runner.
and Old Hamer.
Nice. So back to this corn whiskey here.
Yeah, it literally looks like water.
It does.
The
And
clarity is incredidible.
it's clean.
100%
You know
corn.
it's corn whiskey. It's not over sweet. It's not over proofy. It's got a just clean taste to it.
I mean, honestly, it's almost like a sweeter, more mellow tequila. Just sweet, easy.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yep.
way to put that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. I like that.
I would rather have an alcoholic beverage that's aged.
Yeah.
Sorry for pouring mine out.
No, but it's always nice to try this because I think again this shows. I know you proofed this down to 80. That's fine because obviously you're selling
One of
some
the reasons why
bottles.
we do is because we use it in cocktails.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so we don't we do package our own vodka and gin. But when it comes, we don't have tequila here, and so this really gives us an option for rum or tequila-based cocktails.
Gotcha.
Because you can play with some of the same cocktails that way.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for it.
That's true because you throw a little bit of agave syrup in that and you can make a margarita
Oh,
with it. Yeah.
phenomenal margarita too.
Yeah.
Oh, and the best Bloody Mary.
Oh.
I'd argue it's better than vodka in a Bloody Mary. Especially if you do a house spicy mix. Oh, fucking incredible.
I'll tell you, one of the best Bloody Marys you ever had was from Spiritual French Lick when Alan was still there. He does it with aquavit.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It was so good. Jen.
I'll check that that Bloody Mary recipe for you.
All right.
I'll test that out for you.
All right, you
That's
got
my
it.
thing.
You got it.
All right,
Yes,
so you can
yes.
have this bottle.
Okay. We'll take that one home.
Yeah, that one's
We'll
yours.
Twist
Okay.
our
That one's
arm.
yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Please force me to do that.
So as we're waiting here, hopefully,
We
Shane.
have 2 other unopened bottles here. I see.
Well, yeah, we can try those, and we'll do the. I think we'll do the High Rye West Fork. I imagine Shane will bring what I'm asking because he's always awesome. His last name also means Christmas, so when he comes out here, just tell him Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Nice.
Christmas, Shane.
Nice.
He's a true hero.
He is a hero.
He is a hero.
When it comes to all West Fork warehousing or packaging, the guy is it. He's the man. So we're
That's
gonna go to the base product.
Let's
okay.
do it.
Okay.
West Fork base, just our high rye. Didn't bring our weeded. I should have brought our high corn bottle on bond.
Shane.
Oh, I thought you saw him.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. So this is just your straight bourbon.
Just straight bourbon.
High
Between-
rye bourbon.
Yeah, roughly 4 years old. So 73% corn.
90 proof.
Yeah, the rest rye, 27% rye, 90 proof. Minimally filtered. If someone says it's non-filtered, they're lying because unless you see barrel chars,
Yeah.
then they filtered it.
Yeah.
We just do it enough. It's like a screen filter, right? Just so the barrel char didn't come in the bottle because most people, that'd be off-putting.
I mean, you
Sure.
get a little char in your mouth and you chew on it. You're like, oh.
I'm cool with it because I could
don't
care
mind
less
it.
and I love it.
Yeah.
But most people wouldn't like it. And, y'all are proof heads, so we'll see where this lands with y'all. But
We did a couple.
it's a good bottle of bourbon. It's $34.99 at retail or under.
And that's one thing I really love about the brands. I mean, the old Hammer, the Hugh Hammer's a little. I said Hamer, I think, didn't I?
Hamer.
God,
You
dang
say
it.
hammer on the backside when you
Hamer.
say, I said hammer, didn't I?
Hamer.
No, you said hammer.
All right,
You
whatever.
repeated it as hammer.
So old versus Hugh. About that. Is
there
that
you
it?
go. Old versus you. Just leave out the
The
hammer.
price points are still very good on both those brands. I know the Hugh's a little bit higher price because you're doing some extra work on it. You're doing some extra barreling, all that stuff. But all your prices are in that easy price point for someone to get into whiskey. I mean, when you're looking at some of the stuff out there, minus like that, like we talk about the benchmark full proof we talked about earlier, $20 bottle.
That's hard to beat. I'd love to sell
JTS
it. I actually
Brown.
do sell a $20 bottle. $19.99, 1 liter straight bourbon. Our signature blend. It's for premium wells. It's a blend of barrels, roughly 3 to 4 years old. We don't really sell it at retail. It's more of an on-premise play for bars and restaurants who don't want to use basically bellows in their well, right? It's
Gotcha.
better. It's straight bourbon, but no, we sell a $20 bourbon to
It's
$100
awesome.
bourbon.
It's awesome, and that's nice because there's so many of those bourbons that people are hunting after their stupid money, So you don't have to. You don't have to. You can find stuff for $35-$40. It's really great.
What's a bottle of bourbon you would pay more than $150 for?
Barrel proof Taylor.
I have a very strong opinion about this.
Barrel proof Taylor.
Okay.
That's
I
probably
will-
my
More
one.
than 150.
I will say not
Yeah.
a lot. I mean,
150 to 200. No,
Old Fitzgerald.
which
Oh, I'd put that
year
in there, too.
release?
Bottle and Bond 22.
Oh no, yeah.
So the decanter bottle.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The decanter series, like,
I've had some that I would not pay 150.
I don't know. I don't know what would be when I would pay that much for, because I'm one of those guys that I want to, if I'm going to buy something, I want to buy MSRP or maybe just a little bit above it. I hate seeing secondary. I think secondary is ruining the bourbon industry, in my opinion. So I like to see these actual barrel, at the actual price point. Some of the ones I do like that I've paid more for, like the William Heaven Hill releases, I think they're delicious. But you're talking $250 or $250 plus. And it's like, it's a little bit much. Do I want a bottle to have on the bar to share? Yes. Do I want to buy them, multiple bottles to be drinking? No, not at all.
Heaven Hill 18.
I haven't had it yet. I'm getting ready to get some.
I thought no, it's 17. Heaven Hill 17, right?
17. Well, that was the most expensive bottle I ever paid for, because I bought it for her.
How much you
from
pay
this
for that?
dude. I can't say, because it was one that he paid too much for, that I paid him too much for.
I did taste. I tasted last year's Eagle Rare 17.
Yeah, you did.
Last week. I'd pay over $150.
That's the one B-Tech collection I've never had.
For the bottle or the pour?
No, for the bottle. We're talking about you're at a
talking about bottle.
you're at a shop. You can pay retail anything 150, 200. I would argue there is pretty much zero bottles I would pay more than 150 or 200 for, because there is so much good bourbon
right
below 100, and I would buy 2, 3, 4 bottles before I'd buy that one. So it's a really big struggle for me, because I love to share bourbon. Like so some of the retailers, one of them I noted earlier, Sobro. Whenever I get a good bottle of bourbon or ILG or whatever, the guys I'm good friends with now, they know I'll just literally open it right there and we'll all share it.
Yeah.
Right. So like, that's what bourbon is for. So it's really hard for me to buy a $200, $300, $400, or $500 bottle and then like, dude, I'm here. Bourbon's to share in that struggle. I'd rather have really good bourbon at a lower price that I can share with everybody.
Exactly.
This
I'm
is
not
really
the guy that
floral.
collects bottles and puts them on the shelf. I'm
No.
the guy that cracks them, and let's all try it around the table.
We have one, maybe 2 bottles that are unopened,
Yeah,
and
but you also have
So let's go open them.
backups to those, right?
no, fuck no,
No.
One
Okay.
of them is the E.H.
So what are they?
Taylor, E.H. Taylor Amaranth Grain of the Gods.
Okay.
Because it's like
Yeah, I've had it.
But that's
$3,700.
I say that's the one that
Yeah,
she said if
it's
she
good.
loses her job, she has
It's good.
money to pay
I don't think
for.
it's worth.
It's good.
Yeah, but if somebody was like, "Here, I'll give you $4,000 for this," yeah, fuck it, take it.
I'll give you a
I don't
handshake.
give a shit. Yeah, that's what it's worth.
Oh, I thought we had a deal.
Well, it's hers.
Oh, it's your bottle.
It is.
Oh,
thought we were
okay.
friends
Well, just,
here.
why,
I thought
here's
we
what
were
you guys should do: have a date and drink it.
You
Yeah.
should.
Well,
You
we
should.
did that.
What
We
else
didn't
is it
like
for?
Yeah, pay the mortgage.
Pay the mortgage.
Yeah. That's our mortgage bottle. That's the only
what
one
bourbon
that's
is for
unopened.
me, not you.
I know.
You're here to drink bourbon.
I know.
I'm here to pay the mortgage.
I get the Heaven Hill bottled and bond, which is my favorite. So
I do love Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
yeah,
I mean, great.
7 years, so good.
yeah, $40 at Costco.
All right, can you guys stack rank the top 6 in your opinions? Because I heard you guys when
I
I
don't think
listened
I
last
could.
week, because you guys were doing the Vroom Juice, right? Our
Yeah.
Racing Hamer
Yeah.
series. I listened to the podcast, and also to try to figure out how to get ready for this damn thing. Can you stack rank these? Have you guys ever done that?
No.
The
We
top
have not.
6?
No.
Okay, so this is good content.
Oh,
Let's
it
go.
is.
Let's go.
Man.
I don't even know how to do that at this point.
No, stack rank the top 6, the biggest distilleries.
I mean, I know who my number one is.
It's not just number
Sazerac.
one, though. It's
No, it's Heaven Hills for me.
Oh,
I'd say
Heaven Hill
Heaven-
is second for me.
Heaven
Hill's
Hill-
my number one.
Buffalo Trace.
Who's last? Maybe that's a better question.
So first of all, for everyone out there, name the top 6.
I don't.
Name the big 6.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate putting anybody in the last.
Well, you got to do it. Someone's got to be last.
Wait,
Well,
so
everybody
again,
could be
again,
last.
big 6. Who are they? You got Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill,
Heaven Hill,
Brown Farman,
Brown Foreman.
Campari.
Beam
Campari.
Centauri.
Makers,
That's
Right?
Beam
That's
Centauri.
Beam.
or Beam
Yeah.
Centauri. Okay,
Campari.
Campari.
and then
Who's the last one?
Who's sixth?
Would you qualify MGP as the sixth?
honestly they should be.
I mean, they make more bourbon than any
were
of these
they?
guys. You guys know that, right?
Oh yeah, they do. They're the biggest distillery
By far.
in the world.
Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, but I don't know. If
Excuse,
they
you already
ever-
said Brown Foreman. You had Beam Santori. You had Heaven Hill. You had Sazerac, right? Those are the big four.
Campari.
Campari
Campari.
is they're not near as big as those four either.
But aren't they considered one of the big
Well,
six?
it's
Gotta
five
be.
or- yeah,
When
five-
it comes to
five or
bourbon
six.
brands, though, they're not as big as those
So
four.
when people say big six, who is the six?
Who's the
I don't know if
six?
anybody calls MGP the big six, even though they're
So
number
who's the
one.
sixth? We got to be missing an obvious.
We are missing an obvious.
West Fork.
What's for?
That'd be way retired.
Yeah, yeah.
Talked about a number.
He would have already sold that one.
Pernod Ricard.
But no Ricard.
Pernod's got Rabbit Hole, but not in bourbon.
Got Jefferson's. He's got Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole and Jefferson's. That's it,
It's the only bourbons he has.
right? Or did they buy Tilray? Or not Tilray? They have what's that New York brand? And do they have those too? I don't know. But again, okay. So you guys, just so I'm
No.
clear,
That's it.
it's Heaven Hill and Sazerac.
Pretty much. on the
Those
top.
are
Your
top,
top
two.
two.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Beam over Brown Foreman or Beam Santori.
Brown Foreman.
So you like Old Forester and Woodford better?
I'm going
I would
Beam.
rather have Old
Because
Forester.
no
I like
chance you're
Old Forester.
picking Jack over Jim.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I do
You're
like.
Brown Foreman over Beam,
I'm not.
It depends on the bottle for me.
top to bottom. Top to bottom. Had to
Top to
pick.
bottom.
Guns in your head.
I'm gonna have to go with Old Forester on that one. I got Heaven Hill.
I mean, that's a good pick.
Heaven Hill. I've got Sazerac, and I got to go with the Old Forester brand there. I love Old Forester.
You're a Beam guy.
Bookers.
But
all
I do
day.
like-
Booker's
I
has
do
some
like-
good stuff.
But I
do
think
like
there's more
Booker's.
subjective things from Beam, where Old Forester and
You're
Brown
right.
Foreman has a wider profile, wider portfolio.
I will
They do,
say
they do.
Brown Foreman's coming to the game now. Like
See, I haven't had a lot of their single barrel picks that y'all have had
What,
from
McLaren?
Jack.
McLaren Racing.
Yeah.
God, I'd love to own a race team. So dope.
It's coming.
Hey, you want to split one with me?
No. But thanks for asking.
$500,000 each.
Funny
$500,000
car.
each?
Yeah,
Hey-
stock car racing.
Hey,
Yeah, we
Lisa, I
got
need a
that.
check for $500,000. You
Hey,
got
we're
me?
doing we're working with
No.
ILG and
It
the
is.
Anderson Speedway though.
It is.
Oh,
It
yeah?
is
That
MGP.
might be that's kind of up your
I
alley.
saw your boxes back there, man. Yeah.
We're doing some cool stuff with them, so that maybe we can
That'd be fun.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
It
got
is
something
MGP and Luxco for Big Six.
All right.
Luxco.
Luxco.
MGP, Luxco,
Luxco
Sazerac,
makes more
Campari,
sense.
Heaven Hill,
I mean,
Yeah.
MGP makes more bourbon than any of them.
Anybody, yeah.
Ricard.
Yeah. so
And
there
by
you
the
go.
way, when they say
Oh,
that
man.
95 or 98 or 99% of the bourbon barrels are in Kentucky, that's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. MGP has like 15% of the world's bourbon in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrenceburg,
Yeah.
baby.
Sorry, I'm gonna get like a cease and desist from the Kentucky Distillers Guild after this
No.
podcast.
We'll cut that out.
Good thing you live in Indiana, buddy.
KDA doesn't listen to this.
No, we're not.
If
that
you
big.
do,
if you do, reach out. We want to
All
have
right,
you
so
on
what
the
you guys
podcast.
think? What you guys honestly think? I don't care if you don't like it or not. Because I need honest
I
feedback.
think, I think the nose on this one is very floral.
I mean, honestly, there's some really good base here. It's that caramel and kind of raisin that we got from that double oak.
I get the same notes that I do on the double oak tie rye.
Yeah.
It's just not as robust.
It's not.
Right.
But
Right.
an
The same
easy,
notes
good
shine through.
sipper,
Yeah.
good
Super
caramels,
easy.
good vanillas, a little bit of raisins, rye spice in there.
Still great flavor all the way through.
I mean, for $35
Oh, my
in a
God,
local
yeah.
company, that's hard to beat.
Forgot
It's hard to beat.
Diageo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I left out Diageo.
Oh yeah, Diageo's big. Duh, bullet.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Duh. I knew we were gonna miss some obvious ones that,
That
were
would
like
be, that would be
slap
probably
us in
the
the face.
bottom.
This
That'd
is
be
the
bottom for
bourbon
me.
talking.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should have known those things.
Yeah.
We've been drinking since breakfast. And breakfast
Thank you.
was at
Thank you, team.
11.
High five.
Yes.
All right, we got one more we haven't opened. So, best estate in Indiana, the Hugh Hamer rum finish. And then I guess I'll stop making you guys drink with me.
Nah. it's
Please
fine.
don't.
And we can be here for 5. I don't care. Until 5 o'clock, just bullshitting.
We got
It's up to you
time.
guys.
We got 2 more hours.
Still waiting
It's
for
good.
that one sample. We
Oh,
can always
yeah.
do it off air.
Shane.
Eh,
I texted him.
how many? What are we on right now on time?
Oh, we're good. One-
Okay.
Someone else is doing the barrel pick
144.
for me right
Yeah.
now, so
Oh yeah.
I skipped it to be with you.
You're the man.
I'm having a blast.
He was supposed to be doing a barrel pick right now, but he decided to drink with us.
Rob, you've got 52 minutes, and I'm out of memory cards, my friend.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh, 52 minutes.
Yeah.
Crack some more barrels.
It's gonna be a
boy.
great
Let's
time.
Go.
Can this thing go mobile?
It
It needs to be
we
on like
could.
a little golf cart.
So we're working on that.
Oh.
We're
We are working
building
on
a
that.
mobile kit that's just on a roller with wireless mics, so we don't have to worry about
Mm-hmm.
being stationary with cameras.
So one thing I really like, though, that you guys, you're trying the new core of West Fork, that high rye, right? There's a lot of good stuff there. And that's what we're trying to tell the people, right? We're growing up. This is a good distillate. It's got some really good qualities. Come hang out with us.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to send you this. Are you a part of the Indiana Bourbon Club by chance?
Every single one Bourbon Club
That's
out there.
great, man. I'm going to send you the link to this podcast, and I'm going to let you share it to Indiana Bourbon Club.
Yeah, Cole and I are decent friends.
That's great.
We've done
I'm
some
happy
stuff
for you.
together.
Very happy for you.
I'm in the business of selling bourbon and building relationships.
Yeah.
I tried.
You should.
Okay.
So this is the rum finish.
Notice, besides big
Yeah, this is
companies,
the
I
rum
don't say
finish
anything
regular
negatively
release.
because
Yeah,
I'm
I
in the
try
business
not
of
to.
building
You can't.
relationships and again, all boats rise the tide or whatever that saying is.
Yes. Bourbon.
Bourbon rises tides.
Yes, it does.
All tides boat the weather.
So
Yeah,
this is
bourbon and boats.
This
Bourbon,
is the
right?
rum finished bourbon. This is the regular
Yeah, so we're back
release.
onto the Old Hamer, regular release, everyday release of the Old Hamer rum finish. And actually, we just literally took bottles from this. Most people will cultivate their best barrels and put in competitions. We said, F it. We'll see how our normal batch does at competitions. And I'm not going to tell you, but we're up for some really big awards that we've already know we've won.
How much bourbon have you had? Just tell us. Come on.
I'm
man.
not going to because
Come
I
on.
can't.
Come
No,
on,
I would
flex.
ruin relationship. I'd ruin relationships. But we're really excited about these.
Good.
They're going to be rated as some of the best in the country and the world.
Good
For 24?
For
Or
24.
20 okay.
Yeah. This particular batch, too, what you're drinking. But what I can say is in January, February, it won Best Estate in Indiana for the American Craft Spirits Association.
Good job, bud.
Is the rum finish. So that's what we're drinking. It's from this batch. We're really, again, I've already told you, this is my favorite baby.
Yeah.
When can you announce that?
In a week or two.
Okay.
Well,
We won't know, though, if we
Check
get
back
the
in a few weeks.
big award. We've already gotten a big one. We just don't know how big the award's going to be
That's
until in
after,
October. So we'll get the
okay.
initial one
I was
here
gonna say
within the next
fall.
few weeks.
Okay.
And then we won't know if we got the big one until we go to the West Coast.
Well, let's connect on. Make sure we're connected on social media so we can blast out for you too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No. And
We
we just
will-
found out this morning that we won another good award for this one. So it's punching with the big boys.
Good deal.
Congrats, bud.
Yeah, it's
It's
excellent.
fucking good bourbon.
It's excellent.
It's
man.
good. So, what's the proof on this one?
103 proof. So the
103.
everyday, the other
White label,
everyday
yeah.
with the Hugh Hamer, the cream label. We only do 2 everyday batches of it. It's a double oak and the rum finish, and the double oak's phenomenal. If you like that caramel everyday vanilla bourbon,
Always.
a little bit sweet, the double oak's perfect for you. I tried to tell you, blind. I'll give you guys a bottle or two when you go. Blind it with people who love Woodford double oak. I can guarantee 6, 7 out of 10 will prefer mine. So more
Okay.
often than not, because I've done it before. The rum finish, it is a little more polarizing, but I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'd have to get the Woodford to do that. I think I'd have to agree with you.
I would blind that with Voyage, Wild Turkey's
The
last
Wild Turkey?
release.
Oh wow. Nice.
I think it would kick some ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fucking great bourbon.
Well, and I will tell you, I love rum finish. I'm
What other rum finishes do you like?
dude, I can't.
Because I can only name one, and it's way too sweet.
Most of them are too
Well,
sweet.
I would say
The
the Heming. These are just a rye. But
Hemingway.
It's a
the
rye,
Hemingway
the rye,
ryes that,
yes.
that we picked last September down at the distillery, they're pretty damn good.
shout out to Fred.
But it's a rye. It's not a bourbon.
Yeah.
And, it's
My thing is, I've never been a big rum fan, but I've started falling in love with some cask strength rums.
Oh,
But I
some
like
are
the
good.
flavor of rum within a whiskey. I just from the barrel. I think
Well, it's that sweet
really
spice
does-
viscosity we talked
It
about.
does.
It adds an extra element that's so fucking cool.
It
I will
really
say
does.
the worst bottle of bourbon that I have on my shelf that is just, I probably should have already poured it down the drain, is a rum finish. I mean, it's not this one, obviously.
Is that
but
sweaty sock shit?
I'm not
you
going to
made us
name the
try?
distillery,
No.
but it's just not good.
Shane!
Shane, everyone.
Shane.
You try it? I'll try it. Thank you, Shane.
You always like brown liquid in bottles that are unmarked. This is great, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. All right. We need to introduce Shane at
Yeah.
this point. Lisa, pass him the mic
Pass him
here.
the microphone.
All right. Come on, Shane.
Come over
over
this
here.
way. Come over here in the camera.
It
here.
might be.
introduce
It might
yourself.
be. I don't know. I need to sit with it for a second.
All right. This is Shane, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Shane's the man. Shane joined us how long ago?
In October.
He's basically our warehouse manager. When it comes to moving barrels, helping us with batches, all the bottling, Shane's the man. And his last name means Christmas. So
Nice.
that's a really cool fun fact.
It's the only fun fact I have.
I bet you have more than that.
Except for you do.
I do,
You
but most of them are
deliver the brown
secret.
whiskey.
He delivers all the bourbon too.
yes,
So like,
yes, that's a great thing.
Father Christmas over here.
I've touched every bottle that you guys have touched.
Nice.
Touching me.
Touching you.
Touching you.
Reaching out.
Reaching out.
Bah, bah, bah. Sorry.
What a girl wants.
Yeah.
No.
Shout out Janelle. She hated it.
I actually don't think this is the product.
You know.
No,
What do you think that is then? Because now you don't know.
Bloody Butcher.
Oh, fuck. We were just talking about
Is that the
one.
one?
Not the We the Bloody Butcher
Oh.
though. We can try it, and we should not bother Shane too much, but
All right, we won't.
yeah, I don't think it is, but we'll drink it. Thank you. I
mean-
appreciate you.
Want anything else?
I mean, if you can find a guaranteed bottle of it, that'd be fantastic.
Find a what?
A guaranteed bottle of that particular one I texted you about. I'm trying to do a blind with them.
I even looked in the safe. There was none in
Oh,
there
there's
either.
definitely none in the safe. That's 7-8 year different cast strength finishes.
You want to try the higher rye?
Any good?
Yes, it's good.
All right. If you say it's good, Shane, bring it out.
All right, I'll bring it.
How about
All
this?
right. You heard it here first.
Dealer's choice, Shane.
Yeah,
bring
you
out
pick
whatever you
some.
want to bring out of what you think is your favorite and best.
I like that.
Okay, I can
like
handle
a lot.
that.
All right, cool.
I love it.
Hey, as long as
love
there's
it.
no
Thank you,
amber,
Shane.
as long as there's no amberana.
It's not an Amarana. We don't have one in the
We're
building.
messing. I'm messing with you.
All right, we're gonna try this one. I don't think I need to sit with it for a second. So what I was trying to get you guys to blind was an amber corn. So it's a 100% corn recipe. We're doing. We've released a couple barrels out in the wild. Red Barrel Liquors is getting one here soon. It is a 100% corn recipe, and a certain percentage is roasted like a coffee bean.
Oh,
And we're thinking about making it, to be honest, about talking about getting feedback from your consumers and doing research. We're trying to decide if it's going to be part of our core portfolio, because I've told you guys this off air. We can never out Kentucky. But what we can do is out innovate Kentucky at our scale, right? And as long as a bourbon has a time and a place in someone's back bar or someone's occasion, then we can find a place to be successful.
Yeah.
And we're never going to sell a product we don't like. So, yes, we're going to love it if we do it. And so the amber corn is kind of a mix between like the chocolate malted that you guys tried and the high rye that we tried.
Oh.
So like this really cool coffee and caramel and toffee notes, but some really good bourbon notes, but it's 100% corn. So no rye, no barley, no wheat, no anything else. And as an Indiana bourbon company, that speaks to us, right?
Yeah.
Like 100% corn, like fuck yeah.
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, that's great. I still get a lot of floral off of this one.
Are you still drinking the rum finish or
I
the
am.
what are you on?
Yeah, rum.
Rum.
On the nose at least. It's
All right,
it's
so-
a little
I like
floral.
that rum finish.
All
Yeah.
right, just from my own education, I'm sure you're going to edit some of this. Like, Rob, how did you get in the cigar business?
Well, actually getting into the business, I smoked cigars since probably the mid '90s. I played a lot of golf, so go to the golf.
You love to play
course.
golf?
I used to.
Do you play anymore?
I'm trying to get back into it. My shoulders.
We're going to play
are
golf.
Horrible.
love
I would like to
I
get
love
back
playing
into
golf.
it. My shoulders
We're
are
playing
bad.
golf.
All right.
I have clubs.
but-
That doesn't mean I play.
But to get into the cigar industry, actually, what happened was COVID. Of course, like everyone's stories these days. I was home working for several months during COVID, and I went back to work, and I'm like, I can't work in the office anymore. I want to be home.
What did you do before?
I was in sales. I sold athletic equipment. Bourbon talking.
What kind?
So
Girdles.
basketball, volleyball, stuff that hangs in the ceilings of gymnasiums. Westfield High School, the stuff
Something
in the
that hung.
ceiling of there.
That's cool.
So we sold that kind of stuff, and I went back to the office, and I'm like, I can't work in the office anymore. I want to be working at home, and of course, the company wouldn't allow us to work from home, going forward. So I'm like, yeah. And Lisa looked at me and she said, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I just want someone to pay me to smoke cigars and drink bourbon all day. That's what started
Phenomenal idea.
That's what started it. That's what started 100%.
That's actually the slogan for Final Third Cigar.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It kinda
Please
is.
pay me to smoke and drink.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
What did she say about? Like, my wife initially, no chance.
Actually, my wife she actually is the one that encouraged me. She's like, well, let's do it. And
Okay, after she laughed.
after she laughed,
Then she thought about it and then made a plan.
Wife talking, right?
yeah. So Lisa is an accountant. She's done bookkeeping she's had her own business for decades. And not that she's that old. She's only like 27. So don't think that.
Close.
Oh, wow.
But it's one of those things where she was looking at it on the business side of it. She's the reason why we're doing this, because she's the book, she's the details. I'm big picture.
Are you happy?
It's her fault.
Exactly. Yes.
You're
yes.
happy?
Yes, absolutely.
You're
Love
in a
it.
cool spot.
Love everything about it.
Arguably
He's
the
the
coolest in
beauty, I'm
Central
the
Indiana.
brains.
It's so fun, huh?
You know
He's
that.
the beauty, I'm the
You
brains.
know that's not true,
I'm the
right?
beauty.
He's the beard,
face.
you're the brains.
Yeah. The beard and the brains.
The beard and the
that's it.
brains. I like that. That should be another podcast right there.
The beard and the brains.
Beard and the brains.
As long as I can drink bourbon with you guys and hang out during that podcast, I'm
always,
Man,
always.
come on.
yes,
You got to come to the
yes.
shop at some point.
Okay,
man.
so your man Shane has reappeared.
cool. All right,
Okay.
Shane.
Shane brought us something.
Don't
good.
tell us
got,
what you
Shane?
Don't tell us what you brought until after we taste it.
Okay, well, don't
Unless
read
you brought.
Are you sure that's not amber? Because you have another Bloody Butcher on your desk right beside that
No, I
one.
haven't. We're gonna try that next.
Okay.
I mean, because we've only had like 18 ounces of whiskey.
Yeah, so
We might as well get it up to a full
what's
bottle.
24 ounces of whiskey?
Exactly.
We're way over the 12-ounce allotment today, Rob.
Exactly.
All right, so I did.
take-
You guys can
I'll
read
take
it. I'm
tomorrow
not sure
off.
you're gonna know what it means anyway. So
I got a
I'm not
full
even
day
gonna-
tomorrow. I
I actually haven't tried
Chef
this
Kelsey
since we
tomorrow.
tried it out of the barrel. So I'm actually mad fascinated to hear what you guys think.
Ooh.
I mean, you're trying a lot of shit that's never been released.
I'm pouring this.
We like
left-handed.
that. We like doing that.
Man, look at that shit. Look how
Over
strong
the
this
board.
hand is. Fuck the board.
Shane, go get a glass.
Here, someone set this down.
Yeah, grab your glass, buddy. Jump in here and drink with us.
Shane's hilarious. He's a vet. Was working.
Ooh.
Thank you, Shane.
Oh, what do you think?
Oh, that is delicious.
Okay, get into it.
It's West Fork distillate.
It's, am I wrong? Is it
It smells
a
spicy.
lot of cinnamon? I'm getting some cinnamon right now.
Makes a lot of sense.
but I've had a lot of whiskey, so it's not Amberana cinnamon. Thank
No,
God.
I tried to tell you that
No, I know.
we don't do it.
He's not doing. That's why we like Blake. He's not doing a lot with Amberana.
Again, there's a price for everything. If you wanted to pay like $100,000 for a barrel, I would do it.
of this.
No, of Amberana.
So somebody said,
No.
I want.
There's
I
a price
wouldn't-
for everything.
I wouldn't
You
pay
just have to
$1
pay
for a
it.
barrel. I'm just telling you right now.
Me neither. Me neither.
There's a reason why that stuff is an endangered wood. Don't use it. Don't use it.
That just means that it sucks.
Oh, he's sneaking up on you. He's pulling a sneak attack.
Ooh. Shane, coming in
It's
hot.
like a sweet cinnamon. That's what
So,
I'm getting. Maybe am I wrong?
no, you're not wrong. That's
Okay,
exactly
okay,
what I get.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Do you remember the? I don't remember which ones. It was like the red hot dots that were on like a sheet of paper.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not like an over spice, right?
No.
It's not like
No.
a like.
It's also not over sweet.
No, it's
It's-
a really cool compliment.
It's
So-
almost like a
it was the
honey
cinnamon
cinnamon.
roll.
It's like a honey cinnamon.
So we said, Shane, pick your favorite. He picked the higher rye. Higher rye means it is a higher rye mash bill versus the corn than the West Fork high rye we just had.
okay.
So that's why that rye spice is coming out in a cinnamon fashion in this, balanced with the corn.
Gotcha.
That's what you're getting.
And
At
this,
cast strength.
I was gonna say, because this is definitely higher, proofier than what we just had.
Oh,
Yeah.
way proofier.
So we're drinking mostly cash strength items today.
Oh yeah.
Is this where you plan to keep most of the products? Are cask?
Yeah, let's be
or-
honest. I got to make money, so I have to have a good 90 proof product, give or take.
Sure.
And we have to be good at that. I mean, we tried one, right? Damn solid bourbon, decent price. That's what we get. But yeah, our passion is 100 proof plus.
And that's a good thing too. Is like if you want to get this product at cast strength, buy a barrel.
Exactly.
Buy a barrel.
I'm
do
in
a
the
barrel
business of
pick.
selling barrels too.
Yep.
So buy a barrel. I will tell you this: from the three co-founders, we already talked about my brother. We didn't talk about David a whole lot, but I will tell you, damn, he loves a good 80, 90 proof on the rocks. It's just how he loves bourbon. He loves it. like
Well,
that, and
and
that's okay.
I've done a barrel pick with a company out of Colorado called Peach Street. Great bourbon out of Colorado. They could not get their head wrapped around the fact that we wanted barrel proof. They kept
What?
trying to prove it down to 92. And it's like, but so it seems like different regions of
West
the
Coast
country
thing.
are more into different proofs. And once we
So are you
released
trying
it
to
at
tell us we're
122
drunks?
I can't think we are.
Trying to say the Midwest is, yeah.
yes, yes.
Proof pounds.
And maybe the South,
And maybe
South
the
and the Midwest.
What did that one end up coming in at? It was like 122.
122, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
up
it was
my alley.
delicious.
So we're like,
It
yeah,
was
it's going to be
delicious.
95.
And we're like, nope.
It
nope.
came in. At
Yeah,
the
I want to
barrel
hang
and
out
it
on your
was-
podcast and just throw me whiskey and be like,
Okay.
all right, what's this?
Yeah.
What's this?
You
What's
should,
this?
you should
What's
come
this?
and do
What's
it,
this?
do a podcast.
Okay,
with
so
me, yeah.
so we have an episode.
I got to be careful with cigars because otherwise my buzz gets too bad, right? Because
It's
I'm
all
not
good.
used to drinking cigars. So I love a good cigar, but I have to be careful when I'm drinking.
Well,
So-
next time I'll make sure we get something.
I like a little lighter too.
You don't smoke a lot
That's
of
a-
cigars, so
Yeah,
you
I
should
don't.
have something a little bit milder.
Yep.
I'll make
Yeah,
sure next time I
Ladino's got
bring
a good
some.
Connecticut. We can get
That
you one of those.
Cameroon would
this
be
was-
perfect for him.
This one's got a little more rye in the mash bill.
This is the higher rye.
Yeah, it's the higher rye.
bourbon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
It's kind of like when someone throws out a very
Little
old.
spicier.
This is our higher rye.
Yeah, this mash bill is locked in, dude.
You like that one?
Yeah.
That's delicious.
You like
Yes,
that?
Yes.
But again, you guys are getting to know the real West Fork.
Yeah.
So we have an episode that we haven't done yet, and the episode is "Let's Get Trashed."
Wait, that's not this episode?
No, that is
no,
not
no,
this episode.
No. Oh,
Believe
no.
it or not, that is
No.
not this episode.
This
All
is- this
Can
is
I-
the episode
Can I
where
tag along?
I have to be really careful to say this in front of Lisa because she's like, "You're never going to do that." Yeah, we're going to do that.
Oh,
No, we're definitely doing that. I'm in.
So,
However, I can support that. I don't care if I'm
Hey,
on it or
hey.
not. I'm in.
That could be our Patreon.
yes,
Yes, you have to pay for that stuff.
yeah, you have to subscribe
You
to
have to
see us
subscribe
shirtless
to
in
Now
that.
we're
public.
negotiating. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
So,
Or
do you know who Bert Kreischer is?
no.
You don't know?
You guys probably know
Shane
more
knows Bert
people in.
Kreischer.
Well, he's a
a comedian.
He's a comedian.
Oh. Well,
He's
his
the guy
last
that-
name means Christmas. Of course he knows.
So he's the
He
guy.
knows
that,
if you're sleeping.
he goes on. He
knows
goes
if
on
you're
stage.
awake.
He takes his shirt off. He's not a small guy. He's bigger than me, and he takes his shirt off and does comedy. Hilarious dude. He does a cabin series.
Super funny.
And the cabin series is over the top. I mean, the first episode, he walks out. He's got an IV hooked up, getting ready for the weekend, just to get hydrated. That's
he-
his weekend.
He's doing
Might
coffee.
need one
enemas.
tonight.
You
They're
guys are-
doing the coffee enemas. They're cooking emu. It's like that's our world right there.
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
what we
I
want.
love it.
Yeah.
So,
So
what
we're
you're
gonna do
saying
that.
is we're going to rent a cabin for the weekend.
Yes, we
Yes.
are. We
And
are.
all we're going to do is have cameras and mics on
Yep.
all the time.
Yes.
And we're going to get wasted
Yes.
on
We're,
bourbon.
we're gonna go see the
and
Alchemist of the
smoke
Black
a
Yes.
lot of cigars.
We're
Yeah.
going down. We're going to do it down around Allen Bishop.
I
talk
fucking
about
love it.
old Homestead. We're
Southern
gonna do that.
Indiana. Let's do it.
Yep.
I'm from Bedford.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
go
you're
to
right there.
Patoka Lake.
I'm from
We're
Southern
gonna get
Indiana.
trashed
I mean, they're
and-
way down there. I was kind of down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to bring someone else along because if I'm trash, there's no way I'm
I
recording.
think we
this
need to
shit.
get T-shirts made up that says "What happens in the Black Forest stays in the Black Forest." Well, you won't be able to read Scott's because his shirt's going to be open. So.
Yeah, Scott's. He just has to get body paint. 'Cause
Yes.
he's not gonna wear a shirt.
He won't need body paint by then. He'll be like
He'll be black.
10
Yeah.
shades of brown.
Yes, yes.
What do you think of this one, Will?
I think
Oh.
I love it.
I love it.
I think it's great.
It's one of my favorite things we've tasted today.
I like that all the high rye mash bill. They
I
all
mean,
have
that
a,
bread's baking spice is cool.
yeah, they have a great common base note that is consistent throughout all the ones we've tasted, whether they've been finished or not. They're, double oaked or not. And I love that. I love that. I pull in the mid palate this like fruit note that comes out to me. That's really,
It's a lot of baking spice, rice spice, and then all of a sudden you get like something sweet in there a little
Yeah.
bit too every now and then. And you're like, ooh, I kind of like that.
It's like a sweet bread,
Yeah.
almost like a cinnamon roll kind of bread.
And again, that is West Fork right there.
Have you ever
Anytime.
had a pumpernickel rye?
Yes.
I've had a pumpernickel beer.
Oh, I haven't had that, but I'm thinking like a heavy seeded rye bread with pumpernickel in it. That's what this reminds me of.
So Shane,
as long
this
as
is
it's
your
on the
favorite.
palate.
Okay, this is one of Shane's favorites, and you're not wrong. This is so good.
oh, thanks, man. It's great.
Shane's the man.
Yes,
Shane is
So-
the man.
So what else we got going here, guys?
Oh, man.
We got really quiet after
I
the
think we
bourbon.
did it. All right, we got
did
one
it.
more, and then I think we did it.
All right. Let's get one more.
2 or 3 hours later, no one's gonna listen to this entire fucking podcast.
No.
But we can cut it up, right?
Oh, I post the whole thing, but
We're gonna
Jen
try
has
this.
something here.
Shane thinks it's amber corn. I smelled it. I'm unsure, so I gotta.
Okay,
I gotta actually
from the
smell it.
peanut gallery.
This is your 32-minute warning.
32-minute warning. Oh,
We're gonna be out of
we
time.
got plenty of time.
We're fine.
That's fine.
Hold on.
Look, the fact that none of this shit is overheated yet is just phenomenal.
excited.
Yeah,
Well, it must actually be 60-some degrees.
I know, right?
It feels warmer.
It does.
It really does.
I could melt into this chair right now.
It's so complete.
Oh.
That's why I took that jacket, that little shacket
Shacket.
off. I love
took my
shackets.
Hold on, I gotta.
Hey.
The fact that he corrected himself and knew that it was a shacket.
Yeah,
Hey.
but
Impressive.
I'm almost thinking maybe the man card's about ready to slip out of his pocket right now. Just after that,
It's already
so.
in my wife's purse. Don't worry. It's okay.
Hey, the thing I'm most impressed is Lisa's still standing up. She's not falling asleep in her chair right now.
we already napped.
This sunshine, this is her sleepy time right here.
All right, what's this one? Tell us about this one.
Let's figure it out. We're gonna figure
That's
it out
this guy.
together.
Oh, so you don't know what this is?
All right, so we think it's the amber corn. I don't see it marked. I thought it was marked on my desk. They pulled it from my desk. Literally my desk upstairs that I work from. I love an amber corn. We briefly talked about it earlier. 100% corn. There's a certain amount roasted like a coffee bean. I'm really excited about this mash bill. I think it'd be really cool. Let me see if I actually think of it.
Where'd you say there's a barrel at now?
Ooh.
Somewhere in. You said Red Barrel or?
No.
You know,
Man,
that's not it.
right here, front one.
Could be.
Because
I don't know.
I do. You said a little bit of a coffee kind of note.
Yeah, this is amber corn.
Okay, I
I don't get the
I
same note as the rye mash bill.
No, this is
but
100% corn.
I do
It's-
get that little bit of a kind of a coffee feel.
No,
to it.
this is
light roast almost.
This is amber corn.
Okay.
Absolutely, after trying it. This is amber corn.
This is chewy, man.
It's kind of chewy, right? It's a little bit of coffee and toffee notes, but some caramel and vanilla in there. A little bit of oakiness, a little bit of sweet notes. I like this mash bill a lot. It's only in a 30-gallon right now. What you're trying between 2 and 3 years, so it's not what it can be in the future, right? We're just getting what do we think at this age, kind of thing.
So I know you've done a lot of barrel picks with local shops and different places, and I don't want you to pick your favorite, but what are a couple of them that you're like, this was something super special, someone picked it, that people can go out and actually get right now, whether it be by the pour at a bar or a bottle at a store?
You know, let's go.
I know
with
they're all special.
Sobro first, just because they always have a barrel pick. They always have multiple different. I think they sell some apple brandy, some cab finish left. Like they got some shit that doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
But you know, Total Wine has some good stuff. Kroger picked a phenomenal rum finish. We had some barrel pick captains from Kroger that came in. Phenomenal rum finish.
Myers done some picks with you too.
Oh, Myers done a phenomenal
Yeah,
job
yeah.
picking barrels. They have a jerkum, a plum jerkum, which is like a kind of like a plum brandy. It's European style.
Ooh.
And they got cases left on their shelves. They do a great job in what they do. Crown always has some kind of cool stuff on their shelf from us. And you know, one thing we do well. I'll love to hear your opinion on this. You call me a liar if you want to. One thing I think we do well is we don't let so many barrels in every geographical region, if it's a single barrel pick, go out. And if you notice, I just mentioned multiple retailers, and every one of them had something different.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing that we try to do around Central Indiana, because we also have a retailer of ourselves here, right? And we don't want us to compete with those retailers, so we have something different here as well.
Yeah.
So you can find some really cool barrel picks. Hopefully one at Final Third soon.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So here's my
Absolutely.
issue with Sobro.
Yes.
Right.
Oh wow.
So-
I'm thick as thieves with Lou and Chris. So be careful.
We gotta get those.
It
boys
has
on.
nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with the parking lot and the asshole that backed up into me.
Oh, okay. All right. Fuck
4
that
years
guy.
ago.
Fuck
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, fuck. I chased that motherfucker down. This guy. He looked like fucking Jay and Silent Bob. This motherfucker wearing a trench coat backs up into me in some piece of shit Silverado with a fucking trailer hitch on it. backs up into my Jetta. We're sitting there like, we didn't even buy anything that day. Did we? Never heard of Sobro.
Never been to Sobro?
Never. We didn't live here yet. She was on contract, so she was in an apartment downtown Indy on 16th and Central. And
Oh, fuck. You guys were close to our downtown distillery.
oh yeah. She was here first.
I love her.
Yeah, she was here first.
She seems like a great lady.
Yeah,
Jury's still out on you.
she's good. Yeah, me, fuck me, right? She was on 16th and Central. We went to Sobro one day, pulled in the parking lot. We went in. They were doing a lottery. Now I was trying to find out like how I get entered into the lottery.
You just buy single barrel picks, they'll put you in the lottery.
Yeah. So that's what they told me. I went in there. I was like, okay, cool. Bought a bottle, left. Sitting in the parking lot, we're trying to figure out. I think we might have been going to either Tracks in Noblesville. So we were headed up to Noblesville. So we're trying to figure out where we were going. We're sitting there mapping on Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever. And all the while I'm mapping this stuff, this dickbag, Jay and Silent Bob, backs up to me.
Silent Bob.
In his
Give
piece
him my
of shit,
350.
in his fucking 350, backs up into me. And we're just sitting there, we're looking at the map, and all of a sudden it's like, oh.
All right, again, not Sobro's fault.
It's not Sobro's fault.
No.
It was the parking lot's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone hates parking lots, especially when they've been drinking.
Yeah.
I chased that asshole. Like, I
don't blame
ran
you.
down the street.
I don't blame you.
And then I ran back to the car. And then I Jeff Gordon the fuck out
Good
of
for you.
whatever road is attached to that. And I found him. I chased him down. And
Let me
I was
guess,
like, hey, man.
nothing ever happened.
No, I found him. I followed him to his house. And I was like, hey, man, I need your license.
And he was like, fuck off?
No. He handed me his license. And I took a picture of it. He was like, what do you need my license for? I was like,
You hit my
asshole.
car? Yeah.
Yeah,
I need
you
your
hit
license
me.
for that and your insurance
He was like,
card.
no, give me that. And he ran away, and I called the cops. The cops showed up, and they were like, yeah, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Jesus, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
So I got
I'll
this-
give you a hug after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't hug you from here.
I will
It's worth
say
it.
half the parking lots in Indiana are
They're all the
no
same.
fault,
Yeah.
except for the one that Lisa got hit in, and she won because the lady backed right into her. So good for Lisa. She actually
Let's
won
just
that
not
battle.
back into people.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that. If you back into somebody, fucking own that
Come
shit.
Also, dude, it
Come
doesn't
on.
really cost that much money. That's why you have insurance, right? Do the right
come on,
thing.
do it.
It's going to happen.
So
Silent Bob doesn't have insurance. Are you
so
kidding?
where is Sobro? I've not been there.
Sobro is at in between 52nd and College and Keystone, basically.
Okay.
You never been to Sobro?
I haven't.
Oh man,
Yeah, I couldn't
All right,
tell you
well,
because we
Oh,
drove by
venture.
it the
do
other
a,
day, and
do
I
a
was like,
podcast
that's
there.
Sobro.
Do a podcast there. He's got a great room in the back. Chris, his son, Lou's son, does a great job with wine too. Oh man, they do a great job. I mean, Red Barrel. I mean, you guys know the places that do awesome barrel picks, right? Who are really local. And don't get me wrong, I love doing business with Big Red.
I love Red
I
Barrel.
love all of them, right?
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
love all of them. Love all of them.
They're
Love
buying your
selling
whiskey.
bourbon.
Yep.
And you know, some of them just I have more personal relationship than others, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I also love to play golf, and they love to play golf, so that makes it easier.
Yeah,
Nice,
Red Barrel's nice,
nice.
man. We've got a couple new riff Red Barrel picks that are really fucking good.
So this amber corn
So
that I've
good.
been, talking
So
about a little
good.
bit behind the scenes, he's got a single barrel come in at Red Barrel, and he's had some very, very few. We've let very few weeded single barrel picks go out. He's got another one coming with that, and another Old Hamer barrel pick coming. So Alex and his parents and what they do is they've been incredible to us.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean it's all about support and getting us out there, and like that's what we're kind of trying to do is
Build community.
build community.
Yep,
Like, I feel like the last couple episodes we've kind of been teasing towards that is, we talked a little bit about the fire at Heaven Hill about a month ago, and you throw a rock and you hit a beam, and
Yeah.
like everybody's gonna help somebody. I feel like there's a new generation of that, and it's not beam.
Yeah,
know,
I'll tell you,
yeah,
at least
yeah.
in Indiana, like, there's a group of us who have decided that, like, we were really scared early on. Really, really scared. And are we going to make it? Are we not going to make it? And now we've gotten past the point of if we're going to make it. And now we are going to make it. And what is it going to be?
Yeah.
And we've been a lot more helpful behind the scenes. And I think you'll see a lot of those things come to fruition over the next couple years. Like I'm the vice president of Indiana Distillers Guild.
Good.
We talked about Alan Bishop. I nominated him for the education share. I mean, Starlight, Hotel Tango, Cardinal, Hard Truth, Jeff McCabe, he's our president. Like, we're really working together to really help our industry and to push our industry forward. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll be beneficial for guys like you, right? Who love to sell bourbon, bring the community together. Like, I don't care if you're selling Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Texas, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the more we work together and push the industry forward and make more flexibility for us to create great bourbon and spirits in general, the better.
Yeah.
And so we got a great group of people who are really, really pushing for that.
Yeah, most of our shit is satirical anyway. So, like, we might talk shit about a brand, but we're not doing it to rake you through the coals, Like, if we're bringing something up, it's because we know that a brand can do better than what they're doing. And we want to highlight that.
And we talked about this earlier. None of us four who are on this right now may like it, and someone may.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yep, exactly.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Look, if my bourbon becomes the best bourbon to pour with Coca-Cola besides Jack Daniels, that's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it's going to be, but that's pretty fucking cool, right?
It is cool, yeah.
It's okay. All right, there's a time and a place for everybody, and as long as I'm making decent bourbon, that there's a time and a place for you. That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah. Well, and with community, we actually were up for best cigar bar in the Midwest.
I heard that's badass,
and we won it. And we were not the biggest. We didn't spend the most money. We were not the most beautiful, but I feel like the reason why we won it. Well, thank you.
Rob is
make
the
sure,
most
make sure, make sure
Rob
Lisa knows that.
You have a good beard too.
Yeah.
You're working on yours.
Like father.
I have to shave mine a lot.
I will say I've cut about 4 or 5 inches off in the last couple of weeks, so I did have that.
Will's pretty taut. Will keeps his.
Will keeps his. Yeah, he does. He does.
I get
He looks so like he should be in
occasionally.
Florida on a fishing trip.
Oh, that's exactly where he lives. Yes. But that's
Will's
the thing.
fishing for swordfish over here.
That's the thing. I feel like
With his
the reason
turquoise
why we
shirt.
won was because our place is about community and love for people and just bringing people together to have a great experience and build friendships.
That's
That's what I love seeing.
That's what bourbon is about. And that's what cigars should probably be about,
it's
too.
both. It's both. And I think that's what the ones that are winning. So
You won because your mom and dad. These are not our parents.
yeah,
But we get mistaken for their children everywhere we go.
yes.
Because everybody hugs everybody. Everybody knows everybody. You walk in the door and it's, hey, how are you? Have you been here? Okay, cool. Let me show you around. And when you leave, you get a hug. And the next time you come back, oh, hey, Mike, how's it going? Hey, Jen. They know who you are. It's you're not going to find a better sense of community or a belonging anywhere.
Incredible.
But I feel like that's that Midwest hospitality.
Which is how
But
it should
it's
be.
not.
Hoosier hospitality is a thing.
It really is.
As Hoosiers in the hospitality business, if we don't do that, we are doing it wrong. Like
We're missing
the
the
South
boat.
has something. The East Coast we think are all our assholes. The West Coast they're way too laid back. Like we should do that.
Yes. And lean into it heavily. Yeah.
I don't care what hospitality your business you're into. That is important.
Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
I love the brand, man.
Yeah.
I love everything that is happening at West Fork. I love everything that is going on in Indiana. We're trying to branch out to, reach the brands that are out here making a impact in the community, and I think West Fork is one of those.
And we talked a little bit about the place here. I came here a few months ago. I think it was shortly after you guys opened. I sat in the
It's been
bar.
about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay, maybe it wasn't quite just open, but whatever. I ate here.
It was last Saturday.
Had a meal. Sat here with my computer. The food's delicious in the restaurant. It's a casual, comfortable environment. There's outdoor space. There's indoor space. You can open up the doors on the bar area, and it feels like you're outdoors. It's a very cool place to come out and just hang out, and I love it. I'm assuming you're cigar friendly on the patios at least.
On the patios,
So you
be
got plenty of
8
places
feet away from the building.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't measure.
That's fire code.
Laws.
It's fire code.
That's
It's
my
all
bad.
law. It's laws. Yeah, I get it. I get that.
I didn't measure.
Now that doesn't mean there might be a. cigar bar.
I mean, we're
in
going to
the
be
future.
We are
Yeah.
so the upstairs version of the bar up here. We're going to be putting a cigar lounge in here, right?
I will tell you, there's a brewery who reached out to me today to be part of the West Fork district, and I think an upstairs cigar lounge makes a lot of sense, and
Let
we
me
would
know.
love that.
Let me
The,
know.
the final third,
so-
two, TOO.
100%, 100%.
The final second,
but no,
second,
I-
third.
I appreciate that
The
so
second,
much.
third.
I really, really do. From the bottom of my heart, we've risked a lot on this business.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you
and
didn't
we
do
still,
it wrong. I mean, you actually started out with a smaller distillery in downtown Indianapolis, got started, and then you went all in. You built this beautiful property here, and you're not done.
No, we're
You
not.
have
We're
more
clease to
property
done.
coming. I mean, the next 5 years this place is gonna
Until
hold
people
totally
in
different.
Indiana pull our bourbon first before they pull their everyday premium drinker. We're not talking about the well, right? Bellows, like, we're not talking about that. We're talking
Yeah.
about your everyday makers or Woodford or whatever. Until they pull our bourbon before they pull their bourbon, I'm not done. Right? Like, more often than not. I'm never
Good for
gonna
you.
probably sell more than them overall in the country. But I want people like you guys to be like, you know what? For roughly the same price, I can pull West Fork and it's just as good, if not better.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna drink their product.
yeah.
That's what we're here to do, right? A good everyday, great premium product that's corn forward, a little sweet, who adopts the identity of Indiana. I am hell bent on that, and I have risked everything.
And you're doing well. You're doing great.
You guys have seen everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
products we haven't even released, products we released. I mean, you guys have gotten the full breadth. If you don't find some bourbon today that you liked, I'm unsure you actually like bourbon.
Well, and
I
you
agree.
know,
I agree.
As we go along and we do these podcasts with these other brands, like, it's not like we're going through and just tasting these brands and we're drinking and, you know, we're just like, oh, everything's great. You know, everything that we've tried today has been up to par with our palate and what
Yeah.
we feel that everyone else that is on our following and in the Indiana market will also enjoy this.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're trying to.
I love you.
I love you too, man.
Can I hug you?
Please.
yes.
I mean, we're gonna
yes.
hug.
Yeah.
We're gonna hug so hard.
You gotta
after
take your
this.
shirts
I mean,
off
because
first,
now
but it's
that
fine.
like you said that, that's exactly what we're trying to do,
Yeah.
and like I just want to hug you.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
like, and you know, we're trying to help local brands. Like, we want to get the local distilleries, you know, West Fork and, you know, Starlight and other
Oh,
places.
tons of good. I mean,
There-
dude,
there's
Hard
so
Truth,
many other places.
Hard Truth, Old 55.
doing
Yeah.
Old 55, doing
Yeah.
phenomenal things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to connect with these local brands. We did a podcast where we paired Hard Truth. We haven't done one there yet. So
Want to go see him? I mean, actually,
yeah,
I went
maybe
on
we
a
need
pick,
to go see them.
I went on a pick. You know Dirk Fence, right?
Yeah.
Indiana
Into
Bourbon.
Watch.
Yeah.
We did a pick with him. Great people down there. I mean, great property, just like you got here. Great property, all
Jeff,
the stuff.
Jeff and Brian have been awesome to us, and that's
Amazing.
one thing we talked about in that community. Again, like Travis and I at Hotel Tango, like we are helping each other on stuff. Like Jeff and Brian, like, and what they do, and like with us scaling up to like this column, still absolutely phenomenal. Starlight with Ted and Dana, like, guys, that's what. There's a good community building here,
Yes.
and we're finally starting to support us. Alan included, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And we're really starting to support each other. It's fucking cool. That's why I said earlier in the podcast, we're about to enter in the next 2 to 4 years the golden age of good craft bourbon.
yeah.
That people like. They're finally going to be like, you know, because to your points earlier, maybe we were offline about, hey, it's not that good, or it's a little young, or all this bullshit, right? It's going to be fucking good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
So-
it's going to be at a competitive price, and you're going to be like, holy shit, maybe I want to buy this over these big brands.
Yes.
I-
yeah.
With my thing and my thought about it is that, like, all the other podcasts that are out here doing whiskey and cigar pairings, you know, there's only a few that are doing both. We're probably
Very
one
few.
of the few that
Very
are in the
few.
top, you know, 5 at least, doing cigar and whiskey pairings. But with the other ones, like, most of them are going after the big 6, right? So
Yeah.
they're reaching after the big brands because they're going to get brand recognition. They're going to get, you tag the, Heaven Hill or whatever. We're working on a sponsorship with Heaven Hill. But
Wait, you guys are at Final Third?
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I see that before you sign it?
Well, I mean, if you want to be a sponsor, you can be a sponsor too.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
We'll talk
yeah.
about it.
I don't
yeah.
want them to cut me out.
Oh,
Let's
no.
have a serious
no.
There won't be a
We're not
cutout.
gonna cut you out.
No. I might want that.
We
all right, all
only and I bring this up because there's other podcasts and other people that are they're using the platform that they have with their following to exploit the brand following
Yeah.
for ill intent.
Well, and I think one of the things you're saying as well is there's a lot of cigar and whiskey podcasts out there that are sitting down because a monkey can start a podcast. Anybody can start
I don't know
a podcast.
about that.
No,
That's the fastest growing platform.
I've
right
seen
now.
some podcasts out there that monkeys could do better, but I will say, everybody.
I was going to be the most controversial.
Nah, everybody can start one, but what I find is you have the cigar guys that are into cigars that will, they're just grabbing a regular bottle of Makers or whatever, and they're doing their pairings. Nothing wrong with that. The one thing we're trying to do differently is we're trying to actually show the education side of whiskey and cigars and actually do them both well. I don't see any others out there doing it as well as us.
Yeah, I think a lot of them.
So.
It's, I don't know. Clout's a weird word, but I think a lot of that is, it's clout, and they're trying to build that off of, brand scarcity.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to do that. We're trying to help grow the brands. That,
Well, it's better for you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and more people hear about you, more people that learn about my brand, more people that come in there and drink my brand at your bar. I mean, it's better for everybody.
Exactly.
We give a shit less if it helps us.
Yeah.
We want to help the community.
Yep.
With the I don't know what it. I guess docu-series with Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
They've got that backing behind them, and they want that shit to explode, and that's fine because.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that story with the fires at Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
But everybody now is exploiting that to their benefit. We want to help the brands that are in Indiana, that are have been in Indiana, are gonna be in Indiana, and expanding out through the nation I don't know.
Again, we're about to
be
launch
successful.
in 5 to 10 new states.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to Blake's point, I mean, there's so many good bourbons out there now, right?
Yeah.
That are that craft and medium range that a lot of people have never even tried, haven't
Right.
even tasted.
Or they maybe tried once and it was a little too early.
Come back.
And just come back once and I'll get you.
So,
Yeah.
how many minutes?
I think we're done.
All right.
All right. So
we're
We've been drinking a
so
lot.
let-
You guys are awesome.
yeah. Let's go ahead and close out now.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
So, Blake, where can everybody find you on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you like to find them?
At West Fork Whiskey. Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, all the socials. So thank you guys so much for coming. www.westforkwhiskey.com and go buy Old Hamer.
Yeah.
Drink local and smoke cigars at Final Third.
Yeah. Final Third Cigar everywhere, man. Where you can
Find
find
me
you
on Instagram at Cocky Wolverine.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Both the Visual, Spencer Lees, and don't forget to follow the new Instagram page at The Final Third Podcast. We will link all of this below.
Thank you.
Yes.
The Final Third Podcast.
Yes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Guys.
everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Have a great night.